And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the slight delay. We're doing the Get Up Unity Summit number 4, hosted by Jeff Marconette Jr. This one's Unity based. So we've done a bunch, and we'll talk about those in a minute. Before we get started, we're just going to welcome some people in, let them join the event before we get going. Of course, emceed and hosted by Mr. Unstoppable himself, Terrance Lefrich, and then, of course, put on by Jeff Marconette Jr., the man, the myth, the legend. Got several other speakers as well. It's going to be a great couple hours. I hope you can join us. Start sharing this page out now. Share it out. Again, this is a mini speeches, but a large motivational conference. We've done a bunch of these, and they're always great, and I hope you guys take something from them. Brenda Ringwood, Delvecchio Riser, Dee Riser, Mansur Mohamed, Terrance Leftridge, as I said, Stephanie Boland, Emily Robbins, me, you've heard this voice before, Anthony Russo, and Johnbull will be speaking, as well as, of course, Jeff Marconette Jr. So we're about to kick off. We are about 1 minute away from getting the party started, so keep sharing it out there, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a good time with the Get Up Unity Summit, Get Up Virtual Conference number 5. Share, share, share. What's going on, everybody? Jeff was hiding in the back room.
Hey, it is an unstoppable day to make the change and get up with our featured guests, our featured host, the host with the most. He is the #1 international motivational, make every second count speaker, and our founder of the Get Up Unity event, Jeff Marconette. What's going on, Jeff?
Not much, guys. I'm excited about today, I have to say. It's just everybody in the world seems so divided right now, and we have divisions even within families. And I wanted to do something to change that because, I want to be the change. Hashtag be the change. But I wanted to do my part in changing that. So I decided to put this conference together. And we have all kinds of people. It's nuts. I am so thankful for the amount of people that just came out to support me and the amount of people that are here to speak and share their message with the world. Because, it's not the time to motivate people. It is the time to unite people.
Boom! Absolutely. That's a tweet 'em. So make sure that you are putting that information in the comments. If you agree with what Jeff is just saying, that it's time to unite, put a #1 in the comments. And we want you to comment early and often, because this is an interactive conference. We're not just here to entertain you or give you information or give you motivation. We're here to interact with you. And so, as always, a couple of housekeeping rules. #1, note takers are money makers. So get your pen and your pad, because we are going to drop some nuggets throughout this 2.5-hour event that is not only going to change your life, but it may make the difference in the lives of the people that you are in contact with. That's #1. #2, make sure that you go ahead and share this out right now. And hey, if you want to, why not go ahead and start a watch party on your page so that you let the world know that you are a part of the Be the Change and the Get Up 5.0 movement. So that's those two things. Make sure you got your pen and your pad and you're taking notes. And please share. Facebook.com/Be the Change USA. And let's get this started, Jeff.
Whoop, whoop. Hey, before we get started, I think this is pretty exciting. Jeff has done such a great job with these conferences that he even got a little help with his marketing. So we actually have a sponsor for this event. T, take it away.
Absolutely. We've got the sponsor, Anytime Fitness. Now, Anytime Fitness is this phenomenal club. It's a team of certified coaches, registered dietitians that give you virtual guidance with their 52-day dietitian-approved meal plan. And it's Jeff can tell you more about it because he's not only a member, he's a spokesman for them right now. But their approved plan is 50% off. And with everything going on right now, it's no better time for you to focus on your fitness. You've been locked down for over 9 months anyway. A great time to focus on you, your self-care, and your diet. So you can go on over to their link on Anytime Fitness and get this special offer. Again, 50% off the approved meal plans and 42 days with a certified registered dietitian. You can't beat that with a stick, right, Anthony and Jeff?
No, actually, but if I think one of the days you actually have to eat a stick, which it's part of the plan. I don't know. I didn't get too into it though.
Okay, that might be the vegan one. I don't know, but hey, different strokes for different folks. They say barks are good in fiber.
Yeah. I named my dog Woody, and it turns out his favorite food is wood. It's really weird. I had no idea that was going to happen. So
okay, that's for another conference.
Jeff, you've done a great job putting these together. For those of you joining us from the Be the Change page, we do a wide range of stuff here. We go all the way from some funny stuff all the way to politics, and of course things like this that are meant to inspire, motivate, and help change the world and the people around you, and give you something to think about for the upcoming week. And Jeff's done a fantastic job with these, so I encourage you one last time. I'll say it. Please share this out there. Put this on your page. Put a little comment of why you like to watch this. We've got 10 total speakers, each of them talking for a little under 10 minutes. It's gonna be great. You guys will enjoy it. So without further ado, Terrence, go ahead and get it started and introduce the man, the myth, the legend, our first speaker.
Well, thank you so much, Anthony, for that. Let's go ahead and introduce him. You guys know him if you've been watching any of the Get Up 1, 2, 3, 4, and now Get Up 5.0 in 2020. He's none other than the international Make Every Second Count speaker. And he is that person that is going to help mentor you. He's going to help transform you. He's an author. He's a coach. And he's got some great information he's going to share with you today. And if you stay tuned throughout the entire broadcast, a little birdie told me that he's got a special gift that he wants to give to you just for being a part of the Get Up 5.0 conference. Now, you guys know his story. At the age of 17, he almost met the eternal stop sign while waiting to turn at a green light. He was told he would never walk again. But after 17 plus years of recovery, he's not only walking, you see him on the screen, he's standing, and he's determined to run. And after his near-death experience, Jeff wants everybody within the sound of his voice to make sure they're making every second count. So now, as we make every second count in this conference right now, we want you to get up on your feet and give a rousing virtual applause to our host, Mr. Jeff Marconette Jr.
Yeah, and we're gonna hashtag Be the Change, yo. But so, guys, I'm Jeff Marconette Jr., the award-winning international Make Every Second Count speaker and author of a Make Every Second Count, a 1,500-hour journal. And that is awesome. I love my book, but we will talk about that more later. But they said that I was 17. I was involved in a serious car accident, and I was told I would never walk again. But I'm here walking right now because I wanted to show other people that they can walk as well. I wanted to show other people that they can accomplish what they thought was impossible. And the thing is this, guys. Check this out. Here today, we have speakers that range from a Muslim to a Christian to a Caucasian to an African American to a African that actually lives in Africa right now, and he doesn't have the exact electricity to get online all the time. And he doesn't have electricity to turn on the lights all the time. And we have all kinds of people. And you know what's funny? That we all have one thing in common. That we're all here for the exact same reason. To unite the country. To unite the world. Because we're sick and tired of seeing all this division in the world. We're sick and tired of seeing families broken up because one person is a Republican and one person is a Democrat. I don't understand what happened. We used to get along so well. But everybody now thinks that their opinion matters and nobody else's opinion matters. And we need to quit doing that. So look, I have come up with something that I think will help. And this something is actually my movement. My Make Every Second Count movement. And you might ask, well, how is that going to help, Jeff? Well, the thing is, if you concentrate on what you have, what you're thankful for, what you're grateful for, and that stuff you can actually see, then how are you ever not going to get along with somebody else out there? You're going to value all opinions because your opinion is the only one that matters to you. But you're going to respect other people with different opinions. So why is it that you guys can't look at your life and realize that you are alive and nothing else matters besides the fact that you are alive and you are here right now? There's nothing. So be grateful for everything in your life. I have Sarah on my page who I don't know her last name. I'm sorry. I apologize. But she says that being thankful is to make every second count. And I agree. So be thankful for everything. Don't worry about politics. Don't worry about anything else besides you. And being thankful for being here. Hey, I know we're a little behind right now, so I'm going to cut it a little short right now. But I will be back throughout the day to talk to you guys because I want you to make every second count. Why? Because you never know when the seconds will run out on your one life, and it is time to unite. Quit the fight. All right.
Well said. Drop the mic. That is your host. That is the founder of the Get Up 5.0 Unity Conference. Give it up for Jeff Marconette Jr.
Somebody turned up the temperature in here.
I think it was you, man. I think you turned up the heat. You know, they say that sometimes you want to use the least amount of words to get the most impact, and you definitely did that. Definitely, we want you to stay tuned throughout this conference because Jeff is going to come back. He's going to give you some more nuggets, words of wisdom, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about that special gift that I told you about. But let's keep it moving. Let's go on to our next speaker. And
hey, wait, Terrence, I know I'm jumping the gun here, but Jeff has a whole bunch of stuff to give away. Are you waiting till later to do that, Jeff, or do you want to tease people now? What do you want to do?
Did you just call Jeff a tease?
I think we're going to wait because I think we want to keep people watching, keep people wanting more and more and more and more.
All right. Sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and get off. And then, yep. All right. See you later. Bye.
All right. Well, in perfect tease mode, let's keep this party going. So you want to stay tuned because you never know when that new tease is going to come up for the great gift that Jeff has to offer you guys. So get up, stay up, and keep watching as we move on to our next speaker. And you guys, you've seen him before on the Get Up conferences as well. He is not only a speaker, but he is what we call our super producer here at the Get Up conference. He's none other than the Dallas native, the MC, the business owner, the mega producer himself, Anthony Michael Russo. Yes, he is the founder of Be the Change, or hashtag Be the Change USA, a social movement that promotes action over awareness. Now, you guys know he has been someone who has emceed great events for the NCAA and the Men's College World Series. He's done lacrosse and men's basketball. But where Anthony really shines is in this current space, addressing the social movements of the day, not being afraid to share his opinion and not being afraid to have you engage your opinion, because he knows that because of you and because of me and because of everybody involved, we have the power to be the change that we want to see in the world. So I want you guys to get up on your feet because he's going to come to you guys with a message that's going to inspire and motivate you today to be the change that we all need to see as we promote unity in the community. So welcome to the virtual stage once again, Mr. Anthony Michael Russo.
How's it going?
Hey.
There's nobody here. There's literally nobody here.
I saw the dog clapping.
Okay. Oh yeah. Please, I hope he stays asleep. Thanks a lot, Terrence. I appreciate it. So this is the Unity Conference. So I'm gonna talk about unity. Is that cool?
That works for us. You've got the floor.
All right, ladies and gents. Thank you guys for joining us. First off, and it's interesting. We've evolved from the beginning of this. Jeff started this to as the Get Up Conference because in the beginning of COVID, we didn't know what was happening. We didn't know what our next month was. We didn't know what our next week was, and it's actually turned out to be completely probably different than we all expected. So you look at where we've started and where we've come, and this year has changed us as people, some for the good, some for the bad. And what's interesting behind all of it is the overriding message that we search for on a daily basis, especially with Be the Change, is unity. And unity comes in many shapes and sizes. And that's why what I want to stress is I get a lot of flack lately just based on having an opinion and different things that I say. And I understand that because people are human and they're going to react to different things and they're going to have a difference in opinion on everything. That is part of what humanity is and being human. With that said, I think the most important thing to focus on when we look for unity, and it started all the way in the beginning of this, is to realize that we all have our own journey towards change. We all have our own journey towards unity. And when we understand that people are going to address it differently than us, the sooner we can actually create the change we want to see in the world. So ultimately, you look at the way that we see things on a political aspect. You look at things on how we see how we can help the world around us. And people will choose to judge those concepts, including people just like me. And I have to tone myself down. I think that self-control is huge in terms of finding unity. Actually, that's the best way to describe it. Self-control breeds unity. You may disagree. I may disagree with what other people are doing. And ultimately, I have to take a breath, take a step, and wait before I say what you're doing is wrong. Because if they've got good intentions, in the end, let's hope that we can all end up in a place of change and positive change and creating change. At the same time, the worst thing we could do for unity is judging other people's intentions and motives. That goes towards me and away from me. So I have to be an importer and exporter of positivity, not just thinking that my exporting version of positivity is going to be the one unifying factor. I'm not perfect. My message isn't perfect. I believe fully in what I say. And I think that's key. It's key to not being hypocritical and going full tilt on what you believe. But at the same time, if you don't understand that there's more than one way to create a positive world and create change and create unity, then you're actually going to have more dissension. You're going to have more division. And as Jeff said, this is such an important time for us to realize how important unity is. That's all we have left. We've got the election coming up. We've got all these things that are trying to, I think, tear us apart from a media perspective, from a political perspective. And at the end of the day, all we have is us. And I believe in a trickle up mentality in this sense. Trickle up is we talk about it in terms of economics, but I'm going to talk about it in terms of unity and change. We can't expect our leaders to be Superman. I've been talking about this a lot lately. Superman is inside us, not in the people that are going to be making decisions on every level in our country. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be 50% of people that agree, 50% of people that disagree with these specific people. So how do we actually create change, and how do we unify as people? Because we are incredibly powerful as a unified nation, as a unified world, by being kind to each other, by realizing we are going to have a difference in opinion, talking them out. I love on my page, I start fights, and sometimes I actually see them turn out super positive. People realizing, like yesterday alone, there was a couple things that started going back and forth, and it wasn't even me involved. And I watched somebody call somebody else out, go back and forth, and then kindly realize, you know what, the way that I came at you and my blanket statement wasn't right. I apologize. That's unity. It's not perfect, but it's unity, and we're getting there. So we actually have to have these incredibly difficult conversations. I want to actually show, I usually just talk through this, but I want to show this video. We've showed it a long time ago on one of our first Truth Will Set You Free, and it's a minute, and it's about the coffee bean. And it's a philosophy. I want you to look at unity and how to engage with other people. So I'm going to play this real quick. I'm going to recap it, and then I'll be out of here on time. We're looking forward to a whole bunch of great speakers. So I'm going to go ahead and show this one really, really cool video on the coffee bean.
When you put a carrot into hot water, I want to really drive this point home. What happens to the carrot? It gets softened, it gets weakened. Some of us are like, I have no idea. When you put an egg into boiling hot water, what happens? Right, it gets hardened by its environment. So often we allow our environments to cause us to get hardened. Hardened hearts, bitterness, angry. So often we get weakened by our environments. But when you put that coffee bean into hot water, what happens? Magic. I love that. Transformation, magic. The bean, by the way, even if it's not ground up, within an hour will actually make coffee. It's not impacted by its environment. Instead, the coffee bean transforms its environment. So imagine we're driving our energy bus forward. We got this coffee bean in our hand reminding us that we don't create our world outside in, we create it inside out. And every moment, every opportunity, every club, every kid, we can transform from the power that is inside of us. That's where the power lies. Never think your circumstances define you. They do not. You define your circumstances by your belief, by your faith, by your optimism, by your vision, by your purpose, by your love, and everything we just talked about. The power is on the inside. So let's go out there together and transform this world. Every club, every kid, every day, from the inside out. Thank you so much.
So again, guys, the whole concept, that was John Gordon. It's a great bit. I'm going to send that to Jeff. I know he wants it. We need to be more like coffee beans. I think a lot of us love coffee. We need to absorb things. We need to also allow us to not be hardened. We need to let it spread out. And sometimes unity isn't perfect. And one of the things Kash and I, that a lot of you guys that follow us, Kash and I have been working with, and we get a lot of like, wait, are you still about unity? You're getting angry and frustrated. Sometimes the path to unity is always different. Sometimes it takes a strong belief system to stand up for what you believe in. Fighting back against other people's belief systems by having a conversation is part of unity. But saying that that's not a unit, but by saying that somebody else, and that this goes for people different than I am, and also the same as me, don't judge the unity path. Sometimes you have to stand up for what you believe in. Unity sometimes takes struggle, sometimes takes strife. sometimes even takes battles and wars, but those battles and wars should be met with love, kindness, empathy, and to be a lot like a coffee bean, in my opinion. Because we're becoming too much like hard-boiled eggs right now. We need to soften ourselves, open our hearts, open our spirits. And since I'm wearing the shirt, Kash should be on later. Unite, don't fight. Be a street light, because only you can be the change you wish to see in the world. Thank you, guys. That was my time. Terrence, you're back up.
Wow. Let's give it up one more time for Anthony Russo. Anthony, that was great. And you always bring the heat. And I love the analogy of the coffee bean. So what we don't seem to realize is that when we put that coffee bean into the water, they're both in the beginning fighting with each other. The water is still fighting to have its control over everything in its environment, but then the coffee bean is fighting to have over everything in its environment as well. But it's only when they come together that they make something even greater. When the coffee bean realizes it can't do anything without the water, and when the water recognizes that the coffee bean ain't going anywhere now that it's there, they learn how to work together, and they make this great blend that people can love over and over again. And I think when we think about that, we have to think about how our differences can blend together to create something better. And I love how you brought that home. So thank you for helping us to see the change, even from a coffee bean standpoint.
Yeah, as always, it's been always a pleasure being a part of it. I cheated this time. I've spoken 5 times. Like, I'm going to go ahead and add a video. I hope nobody notices, but sometimes you got to add a little extra spice. I got to add a little cream to the coffee. You know what I mean?
That's why they made you the executive director of this thing. All right, so let's throw up some comments real quick, see what people are saying, and then we'll jump right on in.
People like cool to share. They like the coffee bean analogy. We could all be coffee beans. Don't like coffee, but I love the premise though.
See, there you go, right there. There was a perfect example.
Nicole, always one of our best viewers. Unite, don't fight. Only you could be the change you wish to see in the world. That's what the shirt says, Rose, to answer that question. And somebody is talking about my puppy. So there we go. There's a lot of great comments. There's a lot of great comments leading into it. Jeff had some great ones I was throwing up as well. Let's see if I can go back a little bit. Well, some people were talking about Jeff teasing them. Yeah.
Well, that's what it's about. So you've definitely got to stay and keep watching, keep taking notes, because you may have the opportunity to partake of Jeff's special gift at some point throughout this broadcast. But for right now, we are going to keep it moving. So keep giving those comments. Use the hashtag. We got 3 hashtags you can use. You can use GetUp 5.0. You can use hashtag Unity, or use hashtag Be the Change. Hashtag Be the Change, hashtag Unity, or hashtag GetUp 5.0 with every one of your comments. So we're going to keep it rolling, Anthony, because I think we've got another great speaker coming up, don't we?
God, you are so modest.
It's the people I hang out with. What can I say?
All right, so I'm going to drop you into the back, and then we're going to, you're going to have to probably come pretty quick. So, yeah, there we go. See you later.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So now I'm taking over the MC reins. Why? Because our next speaker is the man, the myth, the legend. No, not Jeff. I always call him that. But this is Mr. Unstoppable himself. He's been a part of every single one of these conferences between Jeff, him, and I. He puts on this amazing performance with the group, keeps the energy going. I've done other events with him. He's more than inspirational. He actually really got me moving on the ripple effect based on one post he did. One of my favorite people that I've met during this weird year of COVID. So I'm going to introduce him. Terrence, the unstoppable coach Lefrich, has had a desire to help people, empower people, and entertain them his whole life. Terrence is at his best in front of an audience or a virtual audience. His intent is to always leave people better off than they met him. Terrence is a certified accountability coach. He is the founder of Unstoppable Coaching Services Incorporated, where the #1 goal is to help his clients live life on the next level by partnering with them on their journey to creating, implementing, and achieving. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Unstoppable himself, Terrance Leftridge.
All right, y'all. Let's just get right to it. Let's address the elephant in the room. We're all different. always have been, always will be. Difference shouldn't divide us, but it should unify us. Because when we work towards a common goal in unity, our differences become our assets. Hey, welcome you guys. Thank you for being a part of this Get Up 5.0 Unity Conference. And I hope, as we've said throughout this conference so far, you are sharing this out with others and helping them to get the information and the inspiration that they need to recognize that we all need unity, especially right now. And, if you watched this anytime before, I love acronyms. So I had to come up with an acronym for unity. And here it is. Note takers, money makers, write this down. Let's unify now. It's that time of year. Unify now because it's that time of year. Yeah, we're coming into the fourth quarter of 2020, and there have been so many things over these last 9 months that have been around to divide us that it's a wonder that we're still standing at this point. We've had COVID-19. We've had racial injustice and unrest. We've had protests, whether they were peaceful or whether they were angry. And now we have just this unruliness within our society. It's enough to make you want to throw up your hands and just call it quits. But I'm reminded of a song back in the 90s by Queen Latifah that talked about unity. And she said, UNITY, UNITY, that stands for unity. And that is exactly what we need right now. If you look up the definition of unity, it gives you 2 words. 2 words. It's the shortest definition I've ever seen in the dictionary. And what are those 2 words? Well, the number 1 word for unity is oneness. And the other word for it in the definition is togetherness. Now, I have many examples of unity in my life. And I'm sure if you think through your life, you can probably recall a couple of instances in your life where unity really worked, even though there might have been differences amongst the people within that unifying entity. So I love to tell this story because this is one of my personal stories. I went to high school, and when in high school you want to get into some other activities. Well, y'all don't know I'm short, so sports wasn't for me. So I went into the band. My brothers were already in the band, so I had it in. I had a way in. And what I loved about the band, it is a perfect example of differences coming together for a common goal in unity. Unity in action. Now you might be saying, Coach T, how does that work? Well, let me talk about it. Each individual of the band comes with something different. There's 3 main components in any band. There are the horn section, which is the trumpets, the trombones, the French horns, things like that. And then there's the wind section, the windwood section, which I was a part of. That's your saxophones and your clarinets and your flutes. And then you've got the percussion section. You've got the drummers in the house. But a drummer can't play a saxophone. And a saxophone player rarely plays a trumpet because the methodologies involved in those different aspects of the band are so uniquely different that you can't master each one of those things. Even though you may know some musicians, some great musicians that have the ability to play multiple different instruments, many musicians kind of stick with what they know best and they master that. But here's the thing about a band. Without all those components in at the same time, the music just will not be as great as it would be. Have you ever heard a piano solo and you wish you heard that thump of the bass drum in the background just moving the rhythm? Yeah. Have you ever heard a drum solo and you just wish there was some horns coming in the background? No, it's when the horns come in and then the saxophones have the background, and then you have the drums that are driving the rhythm, that you really feel that music. But here's how that is able to happen. There's usually a director that's leading the band. And who's the director? The director is that unifying force that comes in, that makes sure that the horns have the melody when the winds have the lead, and makes sure that drum is doing what it does best, driving the bass, so that the music flows from beginning to end. Now, each one of those components is different in their own way. Each one of those members of the band would love to do their own thing. And that's why every now and then you'll hear a drum solo, or you'll hear a sax solo, or you'll hear a trumpet solo, or a guitar solo, if you're talking about even a bigger band. But the point is, even after they have their solo performance, they blend back into the mix, because we know that the music is only as good as the sums of its parts. Each uniquely gifted person has to sacrifice the solo for the good of the overall music. Each individual person has to blend in with everybody else. Otherwise, the music may sound sharp, or it may sound flat, or it may be too slow, or it may be too fast. Each one of the members of the band has their own unique responsibility to be an asset in unifying the entire band, so that ultimately the audience gets the music that really makes them feel good. And we all know music has this universal way of changing the attitudes of people once they hear it. It's that unification of all those unique parts that make the difference. Now, why did I tell you that example? Because that's the same thing we're looking at right now. Each one of you who are watching right now has a uniquely different aspect on what's going on. But each one of you also has a uniquely different ability that can be used as an asset to unify where we are right now as a world. So while you may be waiting on somebody else to stand up and be the change that you want to see, I want you to understand that you have this unstoppable ability to be that person that we all need to see. You could be that one coffee bean that's dropped into a water that can have that ripple effect that makes that special sweet blend of coffee that everybody wants to drink even more than Starbucks. But here's what you have to recognize. You have to recognize that you have that ability. And you have to recognize that you have that ability. And then you have to recognize that you have that ability as well. And then we all have to come together with that one common goal, which is to make this world better, and drop all the other agendas that take away from that. I'm going to leave you with this. I love GPSs because GPSs get me where I need to go. And the one thing we know about GPSs is that depending on how you want to go, there's many different ways to get to that one destination. Some people like to take the expressway because they want to get there quick. Some people like to take the local roads because they want to get there a little bit slower and not as much congestion. But either way, they get to the same point. If we can use our differences and recognize that we're all trying to get to the same point, we can get there together and we can get there as one. My question to you is, are you ready to be that uniquely different asset connected to that common goal that will unify us all to get to that common destination? If you will, I will. And together we won't let anything and anyone stop us from being the unified society that we all want to see. I'm Terrence, the Unstoppable Coach Lefrich, and that's my message to you today. Let's go together in oneness. Let's recognize that our differences don't have to be divisive. They can be an asset. And when they become an asset, we can unify this world together. Thank you so much. And let's keep this party going. Anthony?
Oh, damn it. I woke up the dog. That was stupid. Stupid.
Yes.
Great job, Terrence.
Thank you.
Before we move on, I think it's another good time. Let's bring Jeff back up. Let's also talk about our sponsor. That was fantastic. As always, T, you bring the heat. I forgot during the introduction to call you Mr. Acronym. I don't know how I forgot that. It's been a while.
You know, you're slipping.
Yeah. Jeff, what'd you think of that?
Oh, I thought that was amazing. But I think I would take the expressway because I'm not a person that likes moving slow.
Hey, you know what? That's why the story of the rabbit and the hare are so prominent out there, because it doesn't matter how you get there if you can.
That's very true. But I have been asked recently, and actually during this event, but Jeff, how can I make every second count? And you know, that's kind of interesting because I have a show that is on every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and it is available on my YouTube, which Anthony is supposed to be putting up.
I will find you in Piqua, Ohio. I will hunt you down. I will just do the fight part of the t-shirt.
You can find him every Tuesday night, though. You don't.
Yeah, I can. I know
every Tuesday night on YouTube at youtube.com/C/Jeff Marconette Jr.
No need for the .com. I just realized that you don't need the .com there.
Yeah, you don't need the .com after the junior, but it works. And then remember, I have a different guest every Tuesday night telling you how you can make every second count, because it's so important to make every second count.
Absolutely. Great information. And while we're at it, let's not forget about the sponsors for the Get Up 5.0 conference. We got a sponsor, Anytime Fitness, and let's go on and put that link up there so that you can get your 50% off the great dietary plan, and you get that consultation with the Anytime Fitness staff. We thank them so much for being a sponsor of the Get Up 5.0.
Yeah, and I want to add that the registered dietitian, Caitlin, is just amazing. I mean, she knows everything there is to know about eating right and what you need to eat in order to accomplish certain goals. Look, I've been going there for going on 10 years now, and I'm never changing gyms. Why? Well, I have their logo on my arm, but wow. I love it.
Natural.
So
a walking advertisement. So yeah, definitely make sure that you take advantage. Go to that link, get more information. This may be your time. This may be your time to make a change. Even though we've gone through what we've gone through in 2020, it's never too late to make a change in your own life so that you can be the change in somebody else's. So let's keep it moving. How about we go on to our next speaker? So listen, we hope you are getting nuggets. We hope you are putting that information in there. Let's make sure that you are getting all the information that you need to help yourself be the change and get up. Hopefully we're motivating you to move to the next level. As we bring on our next speaker, you know, you've seen a lot of testosterone for the first couple of minutes. So we're going to smooth it out, give you a couple of good things to look at and hear. We've got none other than Emily Robbins. Now, Emily Robbins is a modern day empowerment specialist and a curve model based in Nashville, Tennessee. Come on, y'all. She is modeled for all-inclusive brands like Samros Bridal, and fashion is for everybody. But she finds joy in the depth of her local communities. Her sole passion is the education of human trafficking and self-worth. And Emily strives to deliver pivotal moments that every person and with every person she encounters, leaving every listener with the correct tools to chase their purpose and to live boldly. And she's going to come on now to give you that motivation that's going to allow you to be the change in your own life and live boldly in your hopes and dreams. So let's welcome to the virtual stage none other than our guest for the moment, Miss Emily Booth. How you doing, Emily?
Hey guys, I'm great. How are you?
Man, unstoppable now. You just brought up the glow of the room 100% now. Woo! And I know you're not only just giving us your beautiful smile, but you're going to present us with a beautiful message. So the virtual stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys, I don't know if you've heard me speak before. I have been on Be the Change a few times. Anthony and I are really good friends, and he invited me over to this. I actually met Jeff at an event, and we just hit it off immediately, and I love everything that he stands for. That being said, before I do get started, I just want to remind everyone that October isn't just a month about Halloween. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And when we start to think about what 2020 has been like and the fact that we've been secluded with our family, imagine being in a situation where you're in domestic abuse. So I just want you to take a moment and let that resonate with you. And if you're in a situation where you are struggling, there are people that you can reach out to. You can personally message me, and we will get you in a situation where you can prosper, because if that's not unity, I don't know what is. So I just want everyone to remember Halloween just isn't about going out and getting some candy. It's also about internalizing and remembering that this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. That being said, let's get kicked off. Oh man, it has been a crazy week. All week I got to thinking, I was like, what am I going to talk about? I'm really big about just personally winging it, because I'm a firm believer in what needs to be said will come from me. And as I thought about unity, I was looking online and I was like, okay, let me just look at the real definition of unity. And I've got it right here. I'm going to read it to you guys. It is the state of being united or joined as a whole. So when I think about unity, what resonates with me is love, marriage, peace, and resilience. But there was one word that was so simple and we hear so often, it struck a chord differently for me. And that was whole. So that's where I'm going to focus today. It's on wholeness, because I feel like we're in a time where not only are we transitioning into a new season in a really weird world, but also, are you whole? We strive so much to be liked by other individuals. We strive so much to be seen and to be heard. And especially in my industry, because I am a curb model and a speaker. And when I was talking to Jeff, he said, hey, is there unity in modeling? And if there is, can you talk about your experience? Well, absolutely. For one, there is. The experience that I've had, I was absolutely astoundingly fortunate with the people that I got to work with, which was Fashion is for Everybody, and they absolutely changed my life. I got to be on a runway, be behind a camera, and had never experienced anything like that before, and 110% got treated like I was everyone else. Now, to say that that's the entire industry, I wouldn't say so. I feel like it's very versatile. A universal theme is unity. So we strive to be accepted and acknowledged in this world, and we all go through that. That being said, are you whole? I just want to keep going back to that, because in this day and time, we're constantly chasing a perception. And especially in my industry, I'm constantly going, do I look okay? Am I thin enough? Am I liked? Is there a seat at the table for me? And I laugh and I think, you know what? Who gives a shit if there's a seat at the table for me? Because I'll become a carpenter real quick. Let me just tell you, I'll build a table, I'll build a chair, I'll build one for you, and I'll build one for me. And that's what I 100% focus on in my career, is just being genuine and knowing that I will create a table for myself. And I think in order to be successful, we have to be willing to step outside of the box. So when I got told, you're too big, or when I got told, oh my gosh, you have such a pretty smile and you're so pretty, but you're just not for us. No, You're for someone. We were divinely created in the womb, and we all come out with a purpose and a calling. And the sooner that you walk into that, the sooner that you will be successful. That being said, it's crazy and it's hard, and it just seems like when you try to walk into your person, you get stuck. And the good thing about it is your purpose will make room for you. I want you to write that down, because I feel like even sometimes I question myself. When I got off my first call with Anthony and he said, "You have a gift," I literally was like, "You're hilarious." No, I don't. You will question yourself. You will wonder if you are good enough. You will wonder if you're going to make it. And the thing is, it'll make room for you. It always does. There's been times in my life where I absolutely felt like an outsider. I went from being a kid in a small town to being a drug addict at 15, being a rape victim, going through a full-blown trial and wondering if I had any self-worth. And then I think back to unity. And I think back to becoming whole and what that goal is and what that mission is. So anytime that you walk into a situation, a new season in your life, I want you to not get discouraged. I want you to boldly look at this and think, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to grow. This is an opportunity for me to constantly come into my true self, because we're ever evolving. 6 months ago, the person who talked to me does not know me anymore. And I challenge you to live your life like that. I challenge you to be powerful, be bold, and stand in possibility, because possibility is where greatness lies. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I'm going to keep it short. The biggest thing that I just want to leave you guys with is just to live boldly and to be proud. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And if you get curious about me and want to follow me, please do. I'll hopefully be on Be the Change soon.
Wow. Great job. Great job. Give it up for Emily Robbins, you guys. Great job. Thank you. Thank you so much, Emily, for being on here. And, I loved how you said your purpose will make room for you. I think that's important for people
Absolutely.
to know. One of the reasons why I think we have trouble being unified is that there's a lot of people that don't know, number one, their purpose, and then don't know how to act on their purpose in unification with everyone else. And
where there's unity,
part of that has to do with what you said, being whole about yourself first before you can put it out there to someone else. So thank you for being that inspiring voice that lets people know that they can be whole and that their purpose will make room for them. Just tell them real quick how they can reach out to you on Facebook,
Absolutely.
IG. What's the best way to reach out to Emily?
Probably, I'm such a millennial, so you can reach me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm currently building a website and will hopefully be up on a podcast soon for you guys, just to kind of have discussion. The last thing that I do want to say is my entire goal is to overcome adversity and walk into diversity. And that to me is what unity is just diversity. We're all different. We're blended. We come from different segments of the world, nationalities, and belief systems. And my biggest thing is just to be diverse and be proud of it and own yourself. And as cliche as it sounds, just walk in your purpose.
Well, you know what? I told everybody note takers are money makers. So here we go. I got to write it down because you don't want this one to go by you. She said, overcome adversity and walk in diversity. Y'all, I hope y'all got that, because that's a tweetable. Hashtag Be the Change. Right, Anthony?
Exactly. So yeah, Emily was talking a little bit about what she might be doing on Be the Change. She's set up her own website. What was the name of it? What was your actual website again, Emily, so I can put it up there?
It is right now. I don't have it finished.
Not finished. Okay, so it'll be coming up. So you guys have seen her. Sorry, I was like multitasking, but you guys have seen her before on our show. You guys sent me a lot of messages about her. We will be having something for her on the Be the Change network coming up very soon. You and I talked a little bit about it. Can you give a brief preview of, I know we discussed all the different topics, but some of what you're going to cover? Yeah.
Of course. So you guys know me if you've heard me speak. That's why Unity, I got a little offset about it, because I like to talk about very ununified things. And I like to talk about things that challenge the norm. My podcast is going to be all about commanding the narrative and how we can impact one another without crossing a line. And that's why I love Be the Change. And I think that it is absolutely aligned with my goals, is because I want to talk about human trafficking, just like how I started out my conversation about domestic violence. When we think about what's going on right now with COVID-19 and people that are at home. How many people are in their homes right now experiencing domestic violence? How many children are having to have virtual schools right now that have abusive parents? That being said, I want to be able to have conversations that are bold and that challenge the narrative. Because if we can go home and something that I say can evoke emotion out of you and cause you to have a conversation with someone, then I've done my job. So
perfect. Yeah, and kind of what I said earlier, unity isn't always pretty, but it takes the uncomfortable conversations. It takes having that to reach a final goal. And if the positivity and the intention is genuine, like you said during your speech, it'll create the change you need to create and create that unity. So Emily, I just want to pop on because I know that I'm looking forward to getting everything buttoned up and having you on the Be the Change Network on the show. It'll be fantastic. And that's it. So I'm going to go back to the recesses. Thank you, guys.
And thank you again, Emily. I mean, Anthony made a great point. Unity is sometimes uncomfortable. Unity sometimes takes a sacrifice. Sometimes we have to sacrifice how we think in order to come in line with the common goal and see things from a different perspective. And sometimes it takes people like you that shakes up our thinking to have us get to a point where we can be unified on a point that we need to be unified, especially human trafficking, and especially not just during the month of October, but all year round. So we're looking forward to hearing more of what you have to say, looking forward to your podcast. But for right now, you can reach out to her on her Facebook page, as well as on her Instagram page, and make sure you stay in contact with Emily Wood. Thank you, Emily.
All right. So I have to do a timeout. I have to swap because I'm watching some of the people commenting, and this is actually a perfect unifying message. Is some of the people messaging specifically, I got to give a shout out to Yosra. So what unity is about is people having difference in opinions and coming together. And Yosra was an old friend of mine, and she's one of other people that I'm seeing in the comments too, that we had a very difference in opinion. And in the polarizing world of politics that we are in right now, we actually decided instead of going back and forth on social media, but actually having a conversation. And I will say, as I mentioned earlier, that a lot of us have lost friends in the last several months. We've realized that people aren't necessarily the people that they thought they were. And we've moved on to a new group. We've essentially shed our skin for something new, which is the positivity behind what COVID could be. And honestly, Yosser has become, in this weird social media world, one of my closer friends, watches everything. And we could not have more difference in opinion on a lot of major issues. But what we do agree on is the concept of unity, listening, empathy, etc. So I want to thank her for that. And I want that to be an example of unity. So that was it. Had to jump back on. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. And that's part of what the dialogue is all about. You know, unifying, coming together sometimes requires us to change the way we think. Or sometimes it requires us to look at the common goal in spite of how we might think about something. Again, the definition of unity is oneness and togetherness. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to be symbiotic. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to think alike. That is not what we are trying to portray here on the Get Up 5.0. What we are trying to get you to understand is that even though we're different, our differences can be an asset towards our common goal. All right, so enough of the commentary. Let's move on to our next speaker, because we definitely want to make sure that you guys are getting up and that you are being unified. Again, continue to put your comments in. We love the comments. Make sure you're using the hashtag unity, hashtag Get Up 5.0, or hashtag Be the Change as we welcome this next dynamic speaker to the virtual stage. This guy, man, has over 15 years of training experience inside Fortune 500 companies. And he has teamed up with them and provided this service. And his training has made a difference in the lives of companies, nonprofits, and individuals as well. But what he's most proud of is that he's a father of 5 daughters and 1 son. And that has made sacrifices necessary to show that overcoming your excuses is essential in succeeding and accomplishing your life goals. As a keynote speaker, a host, a consultant, and a motivational speaker, our guy Delvecchio Riser can speak to your situation, as well as provide quality training in your organization. And he can also educate and inspire you on the right steps to progress forward, like the inspirations you are to help you achieve your results. And he's going to come on and motivate and educate and inspire you to unify and recognize your differences and become the asset that we all need you to be. So let's welcome to the virtual stage a good friend to the Get Up Conference, Mr. Dee Riser.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
What's going on, Dee?
Nothing much, man. Sitting inside the house, as you can see, participating with the COVID traditions that we've learned this year.
Well, you know, we've learned how to pause and pivot and do things a different way, and that's going to help us as we continue to unify in 2020 and beyond. I know you've got a great message for us, so I'm going to get out of the way and let you take over the virtual stage. This is Mr. Del Vecchio Riser.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is first, I have a very difficult topic to talk about, or at least some difficult things to say, because 2020 has shown us just how many people have differences of opinions. And what better way to face problems than remembering my journey through learning math? So the very first thing I want to do is I want to talk about 3 things that I learned from my math teachers. Now, very first was my math teachers wanted me to, of course, learn math. They said that eventually I have to understand problems. And me being me, I said no. Or at least in my mind anyway. I just decided to ignore them normally telling me to listen and learn. And it's because I was young and I wanted to have fun and not focus on the problems. So I often got into trouble. I'm pretty sure some of you can relate. Noticing that I'm trying to ignore things, I didn't really notice that I also had become a problem. So my teacher eventually explained, after me getting in trouble multiple times, that you can't just ignore problems and only focus on the fun and good things that you like. You can't just ignore the negative and only see the positive. Eventually, you have to learn to solve the problems, even if you think that they sound difficult or bad. Now, later, my second math teacher that I can remember taught me that if you only look at one side of the problem, you'll probably often never get to the actual answer, because you're too busy focused on only one section of the problem and not seeing everything that's on the inside of the problem. So I actually cheated first. I cheated just to show her I can get the answer without actually understanding the problem. I just copied it off of another person's paper. Then she actually called me to the front of the room and she said, explain the problem on the board. And obviously I couldn't. That's when, instead of explaining it to me, she actually explained to the class, if you only look at the answer, you won't understand the problems. And that really never helps. The third thing that I can remember is, at least in math, if you look at math, it explains that there are problems on one side, and then on the other side, there are actually answers. But in between, it shows that we're all connected because the problems are all equal. In other words, the problem side and the answer side is connected, showing us that we are all equal. You can either look at the answer, which actually includes the problems, or you can only look at the problems and not really realize that the answer is still sitting on the other side. So in honor of my teachers, what I want to do today is to present you something on PowerPoint showing everything. So if you can throw that up on the screen. First thing is I wanted to show them that I remember problems. 2 divided by 1, 2 times 1, 2 plus 1, and 2 minus 1. Now that's very important too, because I'm using the same numbers. Problems often use the same thing, the same numbers, the same people, but we often miss it. I remember the first time I seen a multiplication sign, I thought somebody had just knocked over a plus sign. The first time I seen a division sign, I thought somebody just put 2 dots above the minus and 1 below it, or rather 1 above it, 1 below it. And I was like, hey, what's really the deal with this? But can you remember the first time that you've seen these math problems? Think back for just a second. Do you remember how hard it was learning 2 plus 1? And then going from 2 plus 1 to 2 times 1, and the answers that you got looking like this. When you look at the answers and when you start understanding problems, eventually we start to remember that we used to think that this was difficult. Some of us on here still think this is difficult. Some people can't understand, how does 2 plus 1 equal 3? And how does 2 times 1 equal 2? Some people get confused with 2 minus 1 equals 1 and 2 divided by 1 equals 2. Now, when you think about these things, sometimes the solution is different and sometimes the solution is the same. Sometimes it's more complex than it seems, and sometimes it's easier than we make it. In other words, sometimes when we're looking at problems, we make them more difficult. Sometimes we only want to look on the side of the problem, not to realize that there's also an answer, just because we don't like how it's put. Do you remember your first time learning multiplication and division? Do you remember your first time seeing more complex problems? When you look out in the world, there are awfully lot of complex problems that are sitting there that deserve solutions. Problems are problems, and each one deserves their solution. Problems also don't fight for importance or fight against each other. I never remember somebody telling me that the subtraction people argue with the addition people, or that the division people argue with the multiplication people. Instead, they all simply gather together and they look at the situation and they say, well, look, these are all problems. How about we just get to the actual answers? When you look at problems and what's going on inside the world right now, 2 divided by 1 is similar to saying racism. 2 times 1 is similar to someone saying Black Lives Matter. 2 plus 1 is similar to somebody saying all lives matter. And 2 minus 1 is similar to someone saying blue lives matters. Remember, problems, again, are problems, and they all deserve solutions. And they're not fighting against each other for importance. They're simply trying to get a solution. Oftentimes, when you see a person arguing with it or arguing against problems, they're not realizing that we simply need to focus on getting to the solutions of each one instead of trying to fight them against each other. Now, if you remember back in math had this whole thing called PEDMAS. And if you don't remember PEDMAS stood for Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. I have no idea who Sally is. I never understood who she was in math, and it didn't click until after I got out of the class. Just remember, as I'm going through this, every problem deserves a solution. But when we went over PEDMAS made the problem look like this. You had these parentheses, you had these different sections, you had the plus, and even now on the internet, when I see people put problems like this up on the screen, the internet goes into a frenzy trying to get to the actual solution. And oftentimes we just don't focus on remembering PEDMAS, which had 2 things. It has parentheses, exponents, division, multiplication, then you have addition and also subtraction. Now, looking at the problems and understanding PEDMAS, the reason why people argue is often because they forget order of operations, which means you start the problem from left to right, and then you follow PEDMAS from left to right. Now, when you follow it from left to right, it's saying, what's 2 divided by 1, then 2 times 1, then 2 plus 1, then 2 minus 1, and then add them all together from left to right, and you come up with the answer of 8. So when you're looking at these problems, it says which one came first. Like, for example, inside the US, racism unfortunately came first. No one here today is to blame for the beginning. However, when we're looking at the problem, we understand that that came first. There was a period in history that we don't like to mention, we don't like to talk about depending on who, and it's slavery occurred. And because of that, it kicked off into this understanding that Black lives matter. At the same point in time, you had other people, you had Indians, you had white people, you had all these different variables kicking in. So every life, all lives actually mattered. And then we kicked into this economy and building the government to where we had to have people protect us, in which we had then assigned police officers, in which blue lives then mattered. Now, to understand that, PEDMAS to me today means please eliminate discrimination many Americans see. Why? Because you can solve racism by understanding that Black lives matter, so that you can see and realize that Black lives is a part of all lives mattering. You can't have one without the other. So that all lives mattering that choose to take on a blue occupation for their life feels and knows that their life matters despite them having on that uniform. We're arguing over problems, and each problem actually deserves a solution. Each problem simply needs to work together. And what we're looking at now inside the world is not the one set of problem like 1 plus 1 or 2 minus 1 or 2 times 1. We're looking like PEDMAS. All of the problems are happening at the same time. And math shows us that every problem deserves to reach the solution. Not the problems argue which one needs the solution. Every problem needs the solution. So do you get it? In conclusion, I want to read this statement. These problems are deeply rooted in America and in many places in the world. The honoring of the aspects that contribute to racism doesn't belong in a land that says it's for the home of the brave and also the home of the free. Because racism is terrorism, no matter how many times we change the name of it. And America defined is United States, not divided states. So let's think about that. Now, I want to take the PowerPoint down, and I want to take a moment to thank Jeff, because unity is a very, very difficult subject, because everyone has a difference of opinion. There are people that don't want unity, and there are people that do want unity. So when you look out into the world, please remember people like what Jeff's put together on this call. You have a lot of people that understand and want to unite and want the same thing. And if we focus on these people and these leaders, you'll often hear a better message than just simply ignoring it, like I used to do inside of my math class, or simply just trying to get to the answer and not wanting to pay attention to the problem like I also did inside of math class, or focusing that in between the problems, looking at every person, no matter who it is, we're still equal. So if you think about those things in honor of my math teachers, hopefully that helps you understand that no matter how difficult the situations that we face are every single day, that we can unite, we can come together. And if we just focus long enough on looking at what the problems are, we can transition over to choosing to be on the side of the solution. Thank you, and I appreciate it. Back to you, Jeff. Terrence.
Hey, I'll take it from here, Dee. Great job. Let's give it up for Delvecchio Riser. You know, there aren't a whole lot of people that can make a math class so interesting, just like you just did. But I love how you were able to wrap that up in a bow and really present it to us in a way that makes us understand that whether difficult or easy, every problem deserves a solution. And we definitely have some difficult problems that we have to deal with right now. But in unity, coming together and recognizing that every problem has a solution and focusing on it, then that's going to help us get to where we got. And I love that you are one of those voices out there that are helping turn a math problem into something that we can not only understand, but then we can go ahead and solve. So thank you so much, brother. How can they get in contact with you if they want to have a closer relationship and really delve in more to what Delvecchio Riser's doing?
Okay. The easiest way is go to my website. My website is www.transformyoufirst.net or www.transformyoufirst.com. You can join. It has a member platform on the inside of there. We're launching some very great things next year. We're actually launching 125 channels. So that's going to be very interesting. We're launching our own social media area. And what we want people to do, the same as this conference, is to unite. It's a solutions-based platform to where we want everyone that wants solutions to come together, jump into the conversations, really get the conversations going so that we can get on the other side of the problem, which is the solution.
Absolutely.
Is that transform YOU first or transform you?
YOU.
Got it. Thank you.
All righty. Well, you know what? Thank you with all the things that you're doing, Dee. Thank you for taking some time out to be a part of the Get Up 5.0 Unity Conference. Great presentation. Make sure you guys go to Transform You and get that information. TransformYouFirst.com for Delvecchio Riser. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to keep it going. Let's have Anthony jump back on real quick. Let's throw up some of the comments before we go to our next speaker.
Heck yes. All right. Let's see. We got thank you, Delvecchio Riser. Amazing way to allow us to understand. God bless you. That was awesome. Personally, I think I said it was awesome in there, but I love math and the way he broke that down. And yeah, I know I'm weird. I love math, but that was phenomenal. I really, really enjoyed that.
And see, that's a perfect example because I hate math, but we both got to the same solution that we loved his presentation. So perfect example, unity right there.
Well, he simplified it for you. For me, I saw the larger picture.
Yeah, and to that point, once you can see the solution, no matter how difficult the problem may be, you find that you can embrace it because you know what's at the end of the path. So definitely. Yeah.
Laura said every problem deserves an answer. I love that. In order to understand Brittany, in order to understand the answer, we have to understand the problem and where each person is coming from. Fantastic. See the problem as a whole. There were some great comments throughout. People really enjoyed that. Great way to describe it from Retta Irby. Let's see. Anything else? It was killer. Connie, oh my gosh, let's take this to Congress and insist they follow this process.
You know, I love it. And there's a great one for all you note takers. Listen, write this down. Focus on the problem and the process, not the people. Let's say that again. Focus on the problem and the process and not the people. I think where we all get messed up throughout this and other big problems that we've had to face is that we've focused on the people that have been put in charge to look at the problem and figure out a process, as opposed to just looking at the problem and the process itself. If we can take a math problem, never changes. It's always going to be that math problem. But the way Anthony looks at a math problem for somebody who loves math is going to be different than the way I look at it, because I hate math. And it's that perception that makes the difference. But if Anthony's got the solution to the problem and I've got the solution to the problem and it's the same solution, no matter if he gets it right first and I get it right last, the solution still becomes the solution when you focus on the problem and the process and not the people. Okay.
And he did a great job simplifying it too, because you look at it, it's not the problem up on the wall in Good Will Hunting. It's literally like when people say it's as easy as 2 + 2. When you break it down like that, it just makes sense to everyone. Love it.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Speaking of the process, this whole event has a sponsor. We made a great advance in the process. We got a sponsor. Let's talk about that sponsor. Anytime Fitness. Thank you so much for being the official sponsor of the Get Up 5.0 Unity Conference. Jeff told you earlier how the dietitians and how the fitness facility has changed his life. So why don't you reach out to them and see if they can do the same for you? See if their process can work for your problem, just like it worked for Jeff. You've got the information on the screen. Go on over to that site, check out everything that they have to offer, and who knows, maybe you may be the next member of Anytime Fitness, sponsor of the Get Up 5.0 Unity Conference.
Pew,
All
pew.
right, let's
make
keep
sure
it
you guys.
going.
I put it in the chat too, so you can copy the link, put it right up in the browser. Boom goes the dynamite. Piece of cake.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's why we call you the super producer. Let's keep it going. We've got more powerful speakers. So are you guys enjoying yourself? If you are, make sure that you're continuing to put in those hashtags. Hashtag Get Up 5.0, hashtag Unity, and hashtag Be the Change as we welcome our next speaker to the stage. This speaker is new to the Get Up conference, but she's just as powerful. And her name is Stephanie Boland. And Stephanie has been changing the lives of thousands of people across the globe by helping them to obtain optimal health, love, and financial freedom. You see, after years of being a high-level athlete, Stephanie suffered a career-ending injury and was then blessed to find her calling as an expert holistic transformational coach. She is now an award-winning speaker, a best-selling author, a Guinness Book World Record holder, a certified holistic health coach, mindset expert, and the creator of the life-altering human potential program called The Blueprint to Happiness. She believes that everyone has a divine purpose within them, but that purpose must be activated through proper care of the body, mind, and soul. And she bases her work on a deep soulful connection and the 3 pillars of happiness, being health, relationship, and business. Now, her mission is to heal the lives of 4.4 billion parents across the globe, which will then lead to the birth of a whole new generation of youth superhumans, ending the pandemic of mental illness and self-created ease in which we all live. And she's going to bless you with some powerful words now. So let's welcome to the virtual stage none other than Miss Stephanie Boland. Hey, Stephanie.
Hello. How are you?
I'm unstoppable. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited to be here, Terrence.
Well, thank you for gracing the Get Up 5.0 Unity Summit. I know you've got a great message that you want to share with us on unity, probably related to health, if a little bird told me anything. So the virtual stage is yours. This is Stephanie Boland.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Terrence. Also, thank you, Jeff, for having me on here. What an amazing summit, everyone. If you guys are having an absolute amazing time, please hit that heart button and comment amazing in the comment section, because this is something that the world needs right now. The world needs unity, and the world needs unity on such a different level than what we might perceive it to be. Now, that's what we seem to be here for, because coming on to here, I thought that I was maybe going to be one of the only ones kind of disrupting your idea of what unity truly is. But I absolutely love how everything is so divinely orchestrated that everyone else on this amazing board of speakers are talking about very similar things and disrupting the norm in order to unify. Now, I'm sure that you probably have a preconceived notion of what unity is to you. Now, if you do, type that into the comments. I want to know, I want to see what unity means to you. And now I want to ask you, what if I were to tell you that unity isn't actually what you thought it was? What if I were to tell you that unity has something to do so much deeper with simply unifying with other people? And I think Emily actually touched on this and spoke about this a tiny bit too, which is incredible. So I'm so excited to connect with Emily after, because I feel very divinely aligned to be here with her today. But the fact that unity comes from not only unifying with other people. To unify with others, you first have to unify with yourself. And that's something that with 10 years of experience within the health, fitness, and also mental health industry, I've realized throughout the years. Now, just like Terrence said, I actually came from a place where I used to be an extremely high-level athlete. I used to be a barrel racer as well. So I spent 15 years on an international stage, going everywhere from Mississippi to Italy, being one of the top 5, top 3, top youth in Ontario and in Canada, to now being in a place where, after 15 years of doing that, I ended up with a really bad career-ending injury where I fractured a vertebrae in my spine and I could hardly even walk, sleep, or do anything. And then I had to make the really tough decision to sell my horses and have to figure out my life, because my entire life was based off of that, was based off of unifying with an animal and being able to actually do things. And just like a business, I had a business that was all running off of that as well. I was an equine therapist doing massage and acupressure on horses. So going through that stage in my life when I was only 20 years old, you already have enough things going on when you're 20, let alone having to change your whole life course. It really had to make me dive in and say, who am I and how am I supposed to fill this void within me that I feel so many people have right now? Now, when we're talking about unifying, I think a lot of times people are going to the wrong places in order to fill that void within you. I'm sure that you have probably thought, I feel lonely, I feel empty, I feel depressed, I feel anxious. How many people have felt like that throughout this whole pandemic? That's escalated the mental health issues that have been going on in the world. If you have felt like this, please comment me in the comment section. I definitely have. I have felt it for sure throughout this pandemic. But the thing that has kept me going is not the fact that I have found new people to connect with, although yes, that has been very helpful, being around high vibrational, extremely positive people. But it's the fact that I understood finally that in order to connect, truly connect on a deep energetic connection with others, you have to first connect with yourself. But how do you connect with yourself? Because I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I'm not here to just give you fluff. I want to give you facts. And in order to connect with yourself, there's really 4 things that you have to do. And the first 2 are to connect with source. You have to find that connection with the divine. Find that connection with source, with universe, with God, so that you can start to fill a void within you that is most likely already there if you don't have that connection already. And that's probably showing itself on a much higher level throughout this whole pandemic, where you're pretty much being confined and forced into figuring things out for yourself. So you can choose to see this as a blessing. Choose to see this pandemic as a blessing that's going to allow you to get so uncomfortable with yourself, where you finally decide to connect with the things that you're divinely put on this planet to connect with. things like source, things like Mother Nature, and of course yourself, and then comes others. But instead of looking at others to fill that void, you have to look at those first two things: source, Mother Nature, and the self. Those are the things that we want to focus on before you even think about including another human being or another being in itself within the equation. Now, if you believe that we have been put on this planet and that we are powerless, that things were an accident, because this is something that we have come to realize, is that through the creation of Darwinism, we have gotten to a place where people think that they're here by accident, where people think that they actually weren't here on purpose. How hard do you think it is to find some way to fill that void within you if you think that you were here by accident and that you're completely powerless within your life, that you're just a result of a magnificent accident that happened that created life from the beginning? How difficult do you think it is to find that purpose, to fill that void, to no longer feel anxious and depressed, and to feel full and happy as a person? It's almost impossible. But the media, society, the government, the way that we've been brought up have all led us to feel powerless. But this is when it stops, because there's amazing new research from people like Greg Braden, who is absolutely one of my favorites, especially right now. So if you know Greg Braden, definitely put a me in the comment section, because his stuff is absolutely incredible. But it really shows you that we were not put here by accident. And the principle of energetic entanglement, which means that even if you don't see it with your eyes, we are actually all completely entangled and united as a society, as a world. Every single person and being in this world is connected by a field that we can't even see with our eyes. And there's also an incredible fourth dimension of spirituality that we can't see, but that controls our third dimension that we live in right now, our physical dimension. And the moment that you start to tap into these things, when it comes to quantum physics, when it comes to actually being able to utilize the power of your mind to visualize the fullness that you desire, to visualize your connection with source, to visualize that white light coming in and flooding into you and going back into Mother Nature. Imagine how much you're actually able to do once you understand your true purpose and understand that you were given something, divinely given something that you were meant to live out in this life. But this is where I want to draw a bit of a parallel, because so many people think that they were given a purpose. But the problem is that not enough people realize that that purpose still has to be earned. Even though you were given a purpose, your ability to discern with what's happening in your life, to take those opportunities, to take those steps forwards, even when it feels like it's the most fearful thing that you could possibly do. Allowing yourself to finally connect with source on such a deep level where you start to walk in faith, where it doesn't matter what situation you're in, what pandemic you're in, what room you're stuck in for months on end, you know that you've got this. So I want to challenge you, and I want to challenge you right now, to stop looking at social media as a way to fill that gap for you, because that's a whole other rant I could go on. But social media is designed to connect us in a way that disconnects us. It disconnects us from the way that we're actually supposed to interact with each other. And it disconnects us from the energetic entanglement that we have. So I challenge you to put down your phone. I challenge you to actually maybe have a meaningful conversation with someone. But before you even do that, I challenge you to connect with yourself and plug in to a matrix that is actually there to help fill a void that is only going to get larger unless you finally do so. So I am absolutely incredibly excited and happy that I've been able to share this with you today. And the biggest takeaway message that I want you to all have from what we're talking about today and from what you just heard is to unify with yourself before you even think about unifying with others. Because this is something that's really, really important for you to understand. Unifying with yourself by allowing yourself to have a better connection with your body, a better connection with source, a better connection with Mother Nature. So then you are so whole and so full that your cup can now overflow into other people. and that there's no issue in terms of you being able to make the most divinely orchestrated connections that will make you feel extremely whole and extremely full. So on that, I want to end this. Thank you so much, Terrance, for having me on here. I'm gonna throw the mic back over to you, but I hope that you all have an absolutely incredible day and that you're able to take away some really good points to help you through this pandemic and through these crazy times. So on that, Terrance, back over to you.
Wow, great job, Stephanie. Give it up for Stephanie Boland. She hit us with that curveball. She told you that in order for you to be able to unify in others, you first have to get in unity with yourself, connect to your source, connect to all those things that this pandemic has probably set up this divine time for you to be a part of, you know, and I love that. And I appreciate that you put that out there because, you know, there's an adage that says that if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. And the way that people aren't able to stand for anything is because they don't take that time to really go deep inside, to get introspective, to figure out who they are, and then how they can use who they are to help other people. So you just knocked it out the park, Stephanie. Thank you so much for that. Again, if they want to have a closer conversation with you, Stephanie, about all the things you do, and maybe they can connect with you and help you unify the things that you're trying to do in the world, how do they do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you so much, Terrance. So easiest way, since we're all on Facebook right now, is just add me as a friend on Facebook, connect with me there, and send me a message, and I'd be happy to chat with you about the absolutely incredible things that we have in the works right now in terms of being part of a community that actually allows you to be in a bubble, a positive bubble, that allows you to disconnect from all of the fear and the negativity that's going on in the world. It's been such a life changer. So I would love to help invite other people into that community right now. So just connect with me on Facebook.
Great. So go ahead, you guys, connect with Stephanie Boland on Facebook, see all the phenomenal things she's doing, and reach out to her. She's willing to have a conversation with you and see how you guys can unify together, collaborate, and go be the change that the world needs us to see and be. Thank you, Stephanie. Have a great day, okay? All right, so we are going to keep it moving. Great job. I love how in unity we can have different opinions, different aspects, and still come to that common goal. And I hope you guys are seeing the possibilities for you in unity with all these great speakers. As we keep going along, we want to make sure that you are putting the hashtags in the comment section, hashtag unity, hashtag get up 5.0, and hashtag be the change. As our founder of the Get Up 5.0 event pops back on the screen, let's turn it over to the international Make Every Second Count speaker himself, Jeff Marconette Jr.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the day. If you are, please put how much you are enjoying the day, and remember, you can share this video out. But I wanted to talk to you about my gift. Do you think it's time for that yet?
Yeah, I think you've had them in suspense long enough.
I think I'm gonna wait. So no.
I think if you wait, you're going to divide this audience, and we're all about unity, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff, what is it? What is it? Tell everybody. Bye, Jeff. Just kidding.
It's hard. All right. So if you guys go to my website, which is www.jeffmarkinetejr.com, just like it's spelled in my name, and go to /journal, I am going to give you the gift of 7 days of me training you in how to make every second count. So remember, that is www.jeffmarkinetejr.com /journal. And I am going to be teaching you how to make every second count. Why? because you only get one.
Man, that is a great offer. Now you said free, and you know when you say free to people, they sometimes take their time about doing it. How long is this actually free for, Jeff?
Well, I'm not real sure.
I think, and this is just me, you do what you want to do. I think, you know, the universe celebrates those who take action. When? Right now. I say you should make it free maybe to the end of this broadcast. And let's see who takes that massive action right now. That's just me. That would be me. But it's
okay, we'll do that. I can do that.
Well, you know, we've got a lot of great speakers coming up. So how about we give a little carte blanche and say till the end of today. Sunday night, midnight, cut it off there. How does that sound?
All right, that works.
Because we want people to stay focused. You know what I mean? They want to, you know, still.
Actually, wait a minute. Because I don't like the Cleveland Browns, and I am a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Woo! Dallas what? I'm sorry?
Dallas Cowboy fan.
No, I'm just sorry you're a Cowboy fan. That's all.
And the Browns actually beat the Dallas Cowboys today. So that is completely shocking. But I'm going to say I'll make this first 7 days available for 2 days. So if you guys don't hurry though, you're gonna miss out. But 2 days. Just
48 hours, you guys.
I don't like the Browns, and the Browns won. That is amazing. So I got to make the deal a little more amazing.
Wow. So in honor of the 3-1 Cleveland Browns, we've got this special 7-day out 7 days free of the Jeff Marconette Jr. Go to jeffmarkinette.com/journal for the next 48 hours. It's free. What did I say?
I think it's free. So free. Jeff, I got it up there. If people want to copy paste it in there. Now I'm actually, since we're talking about your book right now, I want to give you send it to me so I could look through it. And I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it was. I know journaling is huge right now. I went through, I think, the first month of days, and it's phenomenal. It's a really great way to put your thoughts on paper and analyze each second and each minute and all these. Jeff, you did a great job. And I encourage you guys to just check out the first 7 days. And then if you really love it, help Jeff out, buy the book, buy the journal online. It's great. It's phenomenal. But while we're at it, can we show the testimonial of the girl that sent in that message?
Do you think it's the right time for that?
Is she a Cleveland Browns fan?
I hope not.
It's the right time. We're going to show what's her name, Jeff? What's her name, Jeff? The girl that...
Her name is actually Melody, but her nickname is Peanut.
Peanut. All right, she has a short testimony on it, and then we'll get to our next speaker. So here we go.
Make Every Second Count is a fantastic journal written to encourage today's generation of young people to truly make every second of every day count. It has encouraged me personally to be grateful for everything that I am given and to appreciate everything that I see throughout the day.
Fantastic. You can't beat that with a stick. So if you believe in testimonials, then you definitely know this is something that is worthwhile. So go on over, copy and paste that link. It's available for free for the next 2 days. That's what Jeff said, the next 2 days. So definitely, it's never too late to change your life. And it's now is no better time than right now to go ahead and start by making every second count with the Jeff Marconette Journal. Jeff Marconette Jr. jeffmarkinette.com/journal. And we'll be putting that up on the screen now, as well as throughout the rest of this broadcast. Anything else you want to say about that, Jeff, before we keep moving?
No, and I want to give Peanut a shout out because I absolutely love this girl. I mean, she's like my little sister, and it's amazing. And she's so nice to give me a testimonial. And yes, I did send her the first 7 days. So it is amazing that she would do that. So thank you, Peanut.
Absolutely. And if you are one of those people who sign up and you take take part in this special offer, Jeff would love to get a testimonial from you as well. So keep that in mind. All right, Jeff, we got another great speaker coming up. So you ready? Absolutely. Again, hashtag Get Up 5.0, hashtag Unity, and hashtag Be the Change as we welcome our next speaker to the stage. She's also a first timer to the Get Up conference, and we thank her so much for taking some time out of her busy schedule to bless us. She is Brenda Ringwood, and Brenda has been an entrepreneur since high school. She's had many fortunes and knows what the word loss means on so many different levels. She's overcome the pain of loss, incarceration, and cancer. She is a biologist who's turned her challenges into the need for change. She's an artist, a speaker, and an author that has made the necessary changes to achieve success that others only dream of. And she recognizes this success isn't just about money. It's about overcoming challenges and knowing true happiness. Stepping up to be the person you want to be, changing your actions and thoughts, and encouraging others to do the same. And she's going to take a bit of time now to help you be the change that you were created to be in your life. So let's welcome for our first time to the virtual Get Up 5.0 stage, Miss Brenda Ringwood. Brenda, are you there?
I'm here. How is everybody?
Everybody is doing great. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm glad to be a part of this.
Well, we're glad to have you here at the Get Up 5.0 Unity Summit. We know you've got a great message for us. So the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much.
Ringwood.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to talk a little bit about being judgmental. We tend to judge based on race, body size, disfigurement, mental issues, income levels, where we live, what kind of cars we drive, what we've done with our life, what our kids do, what we do every day in our walk. And one thing I want to stress is that we are all people, and sometimes we make mistakes. And happiness is not about money. It's not about the car you drive. It's not about being the person that everybody else wants you to be, but it's about being who you want to be, and it's about encouraging others to do that. And you heard it right. I was incarcerated. Not proud of that. I lost my light and I did some things I'm not proud of, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And the reason why I say that is because it gave me a chance to get to know who I was. It gave me a chance to meet some really cool people. It also gave me a chance to see that when people get out of being incarcerated, that they are judged and they have a really hard life, and they are not really given second chances. They are forced to take jobs that are lower in pay because the employers can, or they aren't giving the chance to live in the areas that they want to live in because they have to say that they're a felon on their application and they're not allowed to live in that area, or they are on probation and they have to abide by guidelines and do things that they aren't proud of just to get by. When I say things that they're not proud of, it means they have to take drug tests, or they have to take classes. They have to go back and make amends for the things that they've done wrong. They have to make things right. They are embarrassed. They're humiliated. And I'm speaking from experience, but I'm also saying that people can change and that people can be given a second chance. And with doing that, they have a value. They have a worth. And I am talking to those people who have known people who have been incarcerated, who have family who have had people that have been incarcerated, and people who have been incarcerated, that you can change your life. You can make a difference, and that you can focus on being the person that you want to be. I wrote a book while I was incarcerated. It's not about myself. It is a fiction book. I am now on my third novel, and it is purely for enjoyment. It was to get my mind in a different place. It helped to heal me. And I suggest that if there is something that you want to do with your life, that you find a way to do it. You are the only person holding you back. If you need to do something that is to create your happiness, then you need to find a way to do that. You need to get off of your couch. You need to get out there and find a way to make yourself be the person that you want to be. And if that means getting in touch with those people that you need to make amends with, if it means finding a job to get back on your feet until you can do something that you want to do that's better for you and later in life, if it means finding a family member and asking for help, then you need to do that. If it means that you are an addict and you need to go find a place to help you recover, then you need to do that as well. But you have a value, you have a worth, and you have something to give back to the community. And a lot of people do not understand that even a seed knows that it needs to be buried beneath the earth, and it has to struggle to find the light. And sometimes we have to help that. We have to water it, and we have to nurture it, and we have to be able to encourage and let that person, that seed, grow into who it wants to be. And if you're not willing to do that, to help others, then what is unity? What is our purpose in life? If we are just going to walk around being selfish and judgmental, you can't help what color you're born. You can't help if you have a deformity. You can't help a lot of things that happen to you in life, but you can help the way you think. You can help your actions. You can help your thought process. You can educate yourself, and you can better yourself. And my job today is to make sure that everybody out there knows that you have a value, you have a worth, and that you can change. You can change the world starting with yourself. And that is my short and sweet message. Don't be single-minded. Don't judge people for their mistakes. Get out there, change the world, start with yourself. I'm sending it back to you.
Wow, wow, wow. Short, simple, but so powerful. Thank you, Brenda, for sharing that message with us. Recognizing that we all play a part. Therefore, we all have value, and therefore, we all have worth. Thank you for sharing that message with us. How can they get in contact with you, Brenda, if they want to have a deeper conversation about what you've talked about today, or if they just want to see what's going on in the future with you?
You can get in touch with me through Facebook, through Brenda Ringwood, or my website at Things by Bren. And just reach out to me. I'm happy to help. I have an extreme passion for the incarcerated and helping them get back on their feet and educating the public on what that means. And just trying to change the world one person at a time.
Absolutely. And thank you for doing your part to be the change that the world needs to see. That is Brenda Ringwood. So check her out on Facebook, or check out her website that is listed on the screen, and we'll also drop that information in the comments. Thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, you guys. So hopefully you are getting great information. Hopefully you're taking lots of notes. I've had to change pens. I've run out of ink. I'm taking so many notes, but we're not done yet. We still have more. So definitely keep putting that hashtag unity, hashtag get up 5.0, and hashtag be the change as we welcome our next speaker to the stage. And our next speaker is no novice when it comes to being on the stage. He is somebody that you guys definitely need to know, and I am so glad that he is gracing our Get Up 5.0 Unity Conference stage. He's none other than Mansur Mohamed, and he started his entrepreneurial journey from the age of 17. He started doing sales, and from there he climbed to the ranks of assistant director within an organization that he was running. He did business in multiple states and countries, and he teaches the ideal of branding and the use of social media to tell stories that motivate others to help them see the best version of themselves. He loves talking about consistency and teaching people how to manage their skills in sales. And he speaks about consistency versus motivation, because he knows in order to build consistent habits, you need to be consistent, and then motivation will eventually become second place. He's an energetic speaker, and he will keep you entertained while teaching you to develop the necessary skills to help you get to the next level. And he's joining us here today to help you get to the next level in unity so that you can be the change that the world needs to see. So let's welcome to the Get Up 5.0 virtual stage, Mr. Mansur Mohamed.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you, buddy?
I'm doing well. Can you guys see me well, by the way? Can you see me?
We can see you.
Awesome.
See you live and in color. Thank you so much for
what's happening.
Don't worry about that. That technical difficulties of the director. Don't worry about it. We'll edit that out. So, Mansur, as we have that comical commercial moment before you get started, we're so glad that you have taken some time out of your busy schedule to bless us here on the Get Up 5.0 stage. We know you've got a powerful message for us. So the virtual stage is yours. This is Mansur Mohamed.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Hey, guys. Nice to meet you guys. My name is Mansur Mohamed. I'm really happy to be here. I just want to, first of all, thank Jeff. Jeff is actually the guy who kind of, told me about, the Unity Speaking Summit and everything. And I'm super, super, super grateful to be here with you guys today. There's going to be a couple of, before I really get into my talk, I just want to really kind of address two issues here, right? The first issue I want to address is actually Yemen, right? The country of Yemen is actually starvation. It's 2/3 of that population is in starvation right now, guys. They don't have homes. They don't have water. I just heard a story the other day, for example, where in a small little village in Yemen, right, they had to get a big truck full of water and they had to bring it all the way to that village, and all the villagers had to come with jugs of water and everything, fill the water up, and then from that point on, take it back to the village for a whole week. So every single week that one full truck of water comes just to get that city water to bathe in and to drink, okay? The second thing I want to talk about real quick, guys, is the humanitarian crisis that's happening in China right now, where basically, I hate to say this, but it's basically a concentration camp for the Muslim people in China right now. I believe the city is called Ugalar or Ugalar. I can't pronounce it, so excuse me for that. So please, guys, if you can take time out of your day to just kind of do some research about it and to see if you guys could donate any money or do anything. I'll find out some links, by the way, along the way. If you guys want more information about that, please let me know at the very end of this. Thank you so much, guys. But yeah, man, Terrence really got me on here, man, and I'm going to be talking about motivation versus consistency, right? We've all been there. We've all been there where we had a moment of motivation in our life where we started something new, a new business, a new venture, real estate, or, just doing something new where we're so motivated about it in the beginning. We're excited about it. We're motivated about it. We're chasing it. And, we're excited about it the first, week, 2 weeks, month, 2 months, 3 months. And then boom, we hit a barrier, right? We hit the barrier. It's called our mind. Right? What happens is when things get hard, the first place that we go to, unfortunately, guys, is our own minds, right? It's that time between the 2 a.m. to the 3 a.m. time where nobody else is around us. It's just us in our own bedroom, in our own head saying, is this for me? Should I continue doing this? What if I fail? All my friends and family are telling me not to do this. Guys, just so you guys know, I did not become an assistant director at a company by hearing the opinions of other people, right? I became an assistant director of a company because I followed my own guts and I followed my own truth on what I'm good at, right? So going back to it though, that's when motivation happens. Motivation happens to the point of like 2 months, 3 months, you hit a blockade. Once you hit that blockade, what happens then is you start to doubt yourself. Now you got to ask yourself a simple question, right? Why are you doing this? Are you doing this for the right reasons? Are you doing this for money? Are you doing this to make yourself happy? Are you doing this for health? Whatever the reason is, doesn't matter, because this is why. Once you get into your own mind, two things tend to happen. The first thing that happens is you doubt yourself, right? You talk about all the negative things, why you should quit, why you should do all that. The second part of the brain, though, that really should occur, in my opinion, is the consistency factor, right? The consistency factor occurs when you hit a blockade, and now your next move is, okay, what is a new strategy on how I can approach this situation without, you know, without draining my own abilities and just kind of going after and succeeding to the highest point of my own life, right? That's called specialized knowledge, right? A lot of people don't know enough, not much about specialized knowledge. Is the knowledge that you gain from other people that you just don't have, and that will, you know, propel you to success. That's why a lot of people go to seminars. That's why a lot of people go to different events to really get you to that next level in your career, guys, right? So something that I always tell people is consistency is the builder of all dreams, and motivation is the destroyer of all dreams. Because sometimes what happens when you get to that motivation factor, you either fail or you get so motivated, you get into the cycle in your mind that you're going to keep doing the same things because you're just a happy guy or a happy gal, and you guys are just okay with everything that's happening around you, and you guys are not having a precise plan on how to achieve the success you want to achieve, period, right? Something else I do want to go ahead and discuss, side, is this summit is the unity summit, is the summit of all of us coming together, right? Persistence and consistency going very, very hand in hand with the transmutation of energy, right? Once you guys get to a point in your life where you guys get consistent with the things that you guys want in your own life, you guys are not going to think about the end, right? You guys are not going to think about the end point of view or like the end set of goals. You guys are going to be thinking about the journey of that, of, you know, what you're trying to achieve at the end of the day, right? And you guys probably heard this a million times before, that is not about, you know, the end of the destination. It's about the journey of the destination. The reason why people say that is because the journey is typically where the motivation, consistency, the downfall, the upfall, all of it happens, guys. The end results is going to be the end results. It's going to be there. So don't worry about that, guys. Focus on the journey of your own life. Focus on the fact that you know that you are capable of achieving anything that you want to achieve with not just hard work, right? Not just hard work, but with specialized knowledge behind it, guys. Don't just work hard, because we know a lot of people that really work hard, right? But they need to have the specialized knowledge to get to that next stage in their own lives and in their own careers, if that's what they want to achieve, guys, okay? That's really all I had to say for this talk, guys. I know it's very short, very simple for you guys, but I just wanted to go ahead and just explain to you that motivation is a temporary feeling, and consistency is what builds your future and builds the foundation of your true life. Thank you so much for having me, guys. I appreciate you. Terrence?
Great job. Great job. Let's give it up for Mansur Mohamed. Great job. You know what? Listen, I want to talk to you a little bit about the whole ideal of that consistency versus that motivation, you know, especially when we're talking about unity. You know, a lot of people are initially motivated when some new ideal or some new initiative takes place.
Correct.
First couple of hours, first couple of days, even a conference like this, they'll be motivated throughout the 2.5 hours that we're on the air. But then, as I like to call it, the after party.
Correct.
And then you know what happens in the after party. Or
Absolutely.
After you go home from the party, you have the hangover, and then the next day you're back with yourself.
Yeah.
And that's where that consistency comes in. So take a second and say, how can people, one tip that you use to consistently motivate yourself after the initial motivation is over?
What's the other side of it, right? That's how I look at it, right? If you're not the consistency piece really comes for being diligent, right? Knowing and writing down your plans, right? Write things down, right? It doesn't matter if it's something small that you guys could achieve. What happens is, if you write something small down and you can achieve that, then you can achieve the next small thing, the next small thing, the next small thing, the next small things. Take those smaller things, even write down something random, like I'm going to go pour myself a glass of water, and actually do it and just check that off, right? Something as simple as that is going to get you in the mindset. What I'm really talking about here is just the mindset of just starting a habit, right? Because what happens, a lot of people believe that a habit is built on 21 days, 25 days. That's actually not necessarily true, right? A habit is actually built on within 3 to 6 months. A habit is really consistently built at that moment, right? Because it becomes part of you. It becomes part of your life. Nothing becomes part of your life in 21 days, guys. Just remember that.
Absolutely. But what I do love is the fact that you said, take consistent small steps, because the one thing I know is that consistent small steps can lead to some unexpected big changes in your life. Things
Absolutely.
that you don't even expect are on the horizon. But first, you just got to take that small step consistently. So thanks for sharing that bit of knowledge with us. Hey,
Absolutely.
if they want to get more information about what you talk about in consistency versus motivation and how they can move to the next level of their greatness, how should they get in contact with you?
Absolutely, guys. So check it. I actually have my own Instagram page. My Instagram page is success_worldwide1. Success_worldwide1. I actually talk a lot. I have a lot of like motivational quotes on there. I have things on relationships, right? Boyfriend, girlfriend, marriages. I talk about, things that a lot of people deal with on a consistent basis as well on my page. I go on live, throughout the whole week. I go on live 2 or 3 nights for like an hour, just talking to people from all walks of life. So my Instagram is success_worldwide1. And if you guys need anything at all, any kind of, work on, social media branding, anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, guys, because I would love to help anybody here.
All right. We're going to put that link up shortly. Success_worldwide1 is
that one, or is that ONE?
One, just the number one.
Like you, Anthony, you're number one. So
he is number one. I like his energy. I like Anthony's energy, man. Anthony,
thank you.
Good energy, man. Good energy.
So, Mansur Mohamed, thank you so much. Make sure you guys check out his Instagram page, success_worldwide1, and see all the great things that he's doing to help you stay consistent and live life on the next level. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Take care, okay? Thank you.
All righty. Hey, you guys, hopefully you are fired up and you are ready to get up. You know what? As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to raise my camera. I'm going to have Anthony come back on. I'm going to have Jeff come back on. We got to get up. We got to get up. We've got to get up. This is 5.0. We are talking about unity. So let's all get up. Let's all stretch out. Let's do that. Proverbial, I'm reaching out to Anthony with one hand. I'm reaching out to Jeff with the other hand. We are doing this proverbial holding together. We are in unity. We are unified. Even though you can only see my eyes, we are doing the doggone thing. We are doing this internationally. We have had people from across the country as well as across the world. And we ain't done yet. So are you unified? If you're unified, go ahead and put that hashtag unity in the comments. Go ahead and put in Get Up 5.0. Go ahead and put in hashtag Be the Change. And we know you guys have taken advantage of that offer. Jeff has already gotten some people. We got some action takers who want to be some money makers. They've already signed up for their free 7-day trial of the book from Jeff Marconette. You still got time. JeffMarconetteJr.com/journal. Go ahead. Get that information right now. Whoo! Man, you feel better. You're released. You got the tension out. You're ready to go down the home stretch of the
I think it might be / instead of / I don't know, though.
It's a slash.
It's
all
a
good.
slash.
It's a / of some kind.
Yeah, it's / but it doesn't matter. It's on the link. All you got to do is copy and paste it, and you'll be in there like swimwear. So make sure you take action on that right now. Somebody has already taken action, and they are on their way to making every second count. So don't you waste another second. Go on and copy and paste. Get on over. Get your free 7-day trial of the Jeff Marconette Make Every Second Count journal. You guys ready for our next speaker?
I'm down.
All right. I told you guys this is international. I told you there is not just unity here in the United States that we're looking to achieve. We're looking to achieve unity on a global scale. And we've got a young brother that's going to help you understand what unity is like on a global scale. His name is Johnbull. He is a multidimensional, and he believes in multidimensional service to the needy people in several countries. He's earned the name The Prince because of his philanthropic works and acts that he does across the world. He's a missionary. He's a business consultant. He's a motivational speaker, author, and a singer. And he stays at the hearts of millions. As a motivational speaker and a philanthropist, and an author of 28 books, including The Global Shift, How to Develop Yourself and Others. He's involved in helping prison inmates so that they can regain and develop themselves. And he's widely recognized as a peace ambassador because of his commendable work in Kenya. And he's currently included on the board of advisors for the Global Awakened Initiative, an American nonprofit organization. He is working hard with his burning desire for improving the condition of Africans and people across the world. And he's taken time out of his busy schedule all the way from across the pond to come join us at the Get Up 5.0 Unity Conference right now. So let's welcome to the stage Johnbull, the Prince, Jirayi. Johnbull, are you here?
What's weird is I see him in back.
Yeah, well, you know, we got to take advantage. This is international. He's a couple of hours ahead of us, probably 12 hours, if I think I'm correct. So let's give it a second. This is live, y'all. This ain't recorded. This ain't Memorex. This is live. So, Johnbull, can you hear us? Unmute your phone, Johnbull. You're on mute.
Really quick. There you go.
Wow. Mic check. Can you hear us, Johnbull?
This is so exciting and this is so amazing. I'm happy to be here today.
Absolutely. Well, we're happy to have you here. The virtual stage is yours. Take it away, the Prince.
Thank you so much for this great opportunity. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, everyone that has made this to happen today. The first thing I want to say today is this is the time to be united. If there is any time to be united, it is now. If there is any time for America to be united, it is now. If there is any time for the world to be united, it is now. If there is any time for people all over the world to be united, wherever you're watching from, in your country, in your community, in your nation, wherever, it's now. It's
We're having some technical difficulties again. He's coming from a different country, so we are going to go ahead and try to bring him up and bring him down again. Check 1, check 2. Well, I'll be able to tell if he's moving in the background. We'll bring him back up. His picture was very, very clear.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing, how we're unifying people from across the country. Just with any type of unity, it can be a difficult task. It can be challenging. It's like that math problem that Dee was talking about earlier, but we are working on calculations. And Johnbull, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right. You left off where you were talking about the time is now for unity. Pick it up from there.
Yes, the time for unity is now. And that is my message to America. I'm beginning with America today because this program is coming live from America. So, and all over the world, people are watching America at the moment. Everything that is happening, people are watching it. People want to know what is happening. There are people that are staying up, you know, having sleepless nights, just, you know, thinking about America and all of that. So America needs to be united more than ever before. And I want to use this platform to speak to the American nation, the American people, that it's time to be united. There is something I would want to say, that those wishing for the destruction of America, they are much and they are many. There are many. Those that are working against, you know, the progress of America, there are many. Whether they are, and guess what? They are within America and they are outside America. And that is one reason why I want to tell the American nation, the American people, to be united. It's time to put off party differences, political differences, and come together in one accord. Listen, let me tell you, America stands as a beacon of hope for individuals, for organizations, for communities, and for nations, not just in America alone, but around the world. I can tell you this from the other part of the world where I am, that America is a beacon of hope. So there are many people looking up to America and wishing for America to succeed. Even though there are those that doesn't want her to, that those that want her to be destroyed, but there are those that want her to succeed. There are those that want America to be strong. There are those that want America to be better. You get it? So therefore, the expectation is high. Okay? A stronger America is of a better benefit and advantage to many people and many nations around the world. Take note of that. So that's my message to the American people through this platform. So now, to be the change, because this program, the Facebook platform is Be the Change, okay? Now, to be the change begins with one person. To
Dagnabbit, he was right on the Be the Change part too.
You know what I say every time we do a live broadcast. There's something out there trying to stop us.
Oh, there we go. All right, I'll let you, Johnbull. You were right at the part about what Be the Change means to you. I don't know. I'll head out.
Yes, to be the change, it begins with one person to be the change. In the same vein, unity begins with one person. Yes. When you hear the word unity, you always think about plenty of people or many people. Just like my brother said earlier, he said unity, it's togetherness. Okay. So, but I'm telling you that unity begins with one person. One person has to decide. One person has to, make a decision for unity. And that unity.
So I've figured out the refresh rate in Africa does a
personal responsibility before it becomes a collective responsibility. Yes, it's a personal responsibility before it becomes a collective responsibility. So we've got to unite together. We've got to unite together. So I'm using this opportunity to speak to everyone, wherever you are, to unite together. I want to tell you something that happened some time ago in 2017 when I was campaigning for peace in Kenya during their national election. And something happened. A man, it was on the news. It was on the news. A man cut off the hand of his wife. Why? Because the wife was in a party, a political party, and himself was in another party. And both of them are from different tribes. They are not from the same tribes. They are from different tribes. So one day, at that time,
So they were from different tribes. And we can plan on what he's going to say. I know it's going to refresh.
They had a discussion and there was an argument. And because of the argument, that man, out of anger, took a cutlass and he cut the hand of the wife. And before you know it, the woman was rushed to the hospital. And that thing came on the news. You can imagine that. A man cutting off the hand of his wife. A lot of things are happening. Why? Because of disunity. So people can be disunited. Even families can be disunited just because of politics, just because of an idea, just because of a situation, just because of one thing or the other. So, but we are using this platform today to say to the world, to say to America, to say to every nation, to say to everyone that you need to be united. Now, I want to share with you the benefit of unity. The benefit of unity. Number one, unity is needed for the survival of the human race. Yes, unity is needed for the survival of the human race. If the human race does not unite, the human race is going to be extinguished. It's going to run into you see, we risk extinction if we do not unite. Let me give you examples. Extinction from fellow men. There are those that want to even wipe out the human race. Those that want to wipe out their fellow men. They want to wipe out their neighbors. So to overcome such people, we have to be united. Even nature For example, the fires, when we watch the California fires and the fires that are raging in some of the nations, it's heartbreaking. You can see what the fire is causing, in those places, the extent of destruction, the extent of damage that is being done. So if the human race does not unite together, even some aspects of nature wants to throw us into extinction, wants to wipe out the human race. So the only way we can escape it or save ourselves is through unity. So we need to unite together. We need to come together and work together in one mind and make the world to be a better place for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, for our nation. Number two benefit of unity is that unity gives courage. Unity gives courage. You see, it makes you brave. When you see people support you, it makes you to be brave. When you see people agree with you, it makes you stronger. When you see people come to help you, rally around you, it gives you courage. It gives you the desire to do more. It gives you the desire, to go out there and challenge, the status quo, because you see people supporting you, because you have people around you supporting you, undergirding you. So unity gives courage. It helps you to be courageous. Where there is no unity, you see people are timid. Where there's no unity, people are afraid. Where there's no unity, people, want to stay behind. They don't want to step out because there's no unity. But when there's unity, people want to step out. People want to speak out. People want to stand out when they see unity. So today, you need to step out there and look for somebody to support. Look for somebody to encourage. Look for somebody to be united with. Yes, you need to step out there in your organization and look, how you can be united, how you can unite with other organizations and help them. So unity gives courage. Number three, unity helps us to understand others. Unity helps us to understand others. You can see today, I'm speaking from Africa, from Nigeria, and in this great program, it's unity that made it to be possible. It's unity that made my voice to be heard today, from Africa speaking to you, from Nigeria speaking to you. It's because of unity. So I want to encourage you. Unity helps us to understand others. It helps us to understand their uniqueness. It helps us to understand their culture, their beliefs, their situation, and their challenges. When you don't understand others, you condemn them quickly. Yeah, when you don't understand others, you criticize them quickly. When you don't understand others, you want to hand them. But when it helps you to understand them, and then you'll be able to move forward. I want to tell you something that happened. I want to share with you a story that happened in Lagos. A young boy, he went somewhere to the market and he stole gari. Now, gari is made from cassava and it's like the staple food in Nigeria. It's a very common food, okay, in Nigeria. Now, everybody knows about gari in Nigeria. So that boy went to the market and he got the gari. He didn't pay for it. He took the gari. The woman was selling the gari. And then he told the woman to sell the gari for him. And the woman sold the gari for him. And he took the gari and then he ran away with it. And when he ran away, people started shouting, people started screaming, and they caught the boy because he was a small boy, very young child. They caught him. And when they caught him, before you know it, the area boys, there are people they call area boys, they came around and they said, oh, this boy, he has stolen. Oh, okay, since he has stolen, let's kill him immediately. And they started beating him. Little boy, they started beating him. And by the time they beat him, they put a tire on him. They injured him so much. And guess what? They put a tire on him and they put fire on him and he started burning. And that boy was burnt. And guess what? After that boy was born, a girl came there. And when the girl came there, he said, "It's my brother that they are killing. It's my brother that they are killing." And they asked him, "Why did he come to steal?" He came to steal. And the girl said that the boy, his mother was in the hospital. The mother was seriously sick and she was in the hospital. And now there was no food. So the mother was hungry. She was in the hospital and she was hungry, no food. So this boy had to look for a way to get food. And that was why he went to the market. And he couldn't explain. And that was why he stole that thing. And now he was killed. Just imagine that situation. Those people that killed that boy, if they were united and they say, "Okay, let's wait, let's listen to him. Why did you steal that thing?" You know, if those guys had united together and listened to that boy and understand his situation, they would have found a way to help him instead of killing him. I want to speak to you today. There are many of you that are condemning people. You are condemning others, but you've not listened to them. You've not understand their situation. You've not known what they are going through. That's why you are condemning them. But by the time you can unite with others and listen to them and understand them, you will know why they are doing what they are doing. And then you will know how you will be able to support them instead of condemning them, instead of destroying them, instead of killing them. Unity helps us to understand others. And this is very important. If we can understand others, you see, wars we cease, fightings we cease, all this killing we cease, all these party misunderstanding each other, they are going to cease by the time we can understand ourselves. Number 4, the benefit of unity. Unity helps us to grow. Unity helps us to grow. You see, I want you to understand that no one can grow alone. No one can grow alone. You can never grow alone. Everyone need others to grow. Everyone need this. You see the tree, the plant, when you plant something and it's growing, that plant does not depend on itself to grow. It depends on the sun. The sun has to shine every day for that plant to grow. The rain has to fall for that plant to grow. A lot of things has to happen. Even the wind has to blow for the plant to grow. You see, so for every one of us to grow, we need others. We need to unite with others. We need others to grow. If Jeff and those that allowed me to be on this program, if they didn't allow me, I won't be on this program. I won't be speaking to you today. So we need to unite together so that we can help others, so that we can help others. See, let me tell you something that happened last week. A dear friend,
we were cooking with grease for a while. It was
she said she
good.
wants me to listen. She said she wants me to listen to the audio book, and she sent it to me through WhatsApp. And she said I should go ahead and open it and listen to it. And you know what happened? I tried to open for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I tried opening this thing. It refused to open. So I called her and I said, I'm trying to open this audiobook and it's not opening. What? Why? I really want to, listen to what is there. And do you know what she told me? She said, there is no permission from your country to open that audiobook. And that's why it cannot open. Wow. I was shocked. But that's the reality. Many nations, many people has been locked off from development, locked off from growth. Why? Because there is no unity. And that is why this Get Up Summit conference for unity today has come to tell every one of us that it is time for unity. The organizations need to know that it's time for unity. Political parties need to know that it is time for unity. Everyone all over the world, it's time for unity. Those people that have been locked up just because they're in the third world countries. It's time to release them. It's time for them to be released so that they can have access. Access. People say information is the cheapest commodity, but it's a lie. Information is not cheap. Information is not free. Getting an information today, sometimes it's so difficult. But if we can be united, we can make these things available for others. We can make these things available for the less privileged. We can make it available for those in Africa, for those in Asia, for those in other parts of the world that cannot be able to get it easily. Unity helps us to grow. You want to be heard. You need people. If you want to be heard, you need people to agree with you and unite with you. I'm using this opportunity to call on everyone that this is the time to be united. This is my message today. Thank you so much for this great opportunity. Thank you so much to Jeff and those that have allowed me to come on this program today. Thank you.
Wow. As we bring Jeff back onto the screen, thank you.
I gotta ask Johnbull. All right, since I know this, but how are you on the internet right now?
It's a miracle, I tell you, my brother. It's a miracle. But I had to move my network from 3G to 4G. I had to move it to 4G. And even with the 4G, you can see it was still breaking. It was still cutting off.
Yeah. And how exactly do you have light right now?
I'm using I wish you can see this. Yeah. Can you see?
Yeah.
Is that a flashlight?
That's my light. That's my light. It's a rechargeable light. You can see in the house there is no electricity here, right here. No electricity right now. It's gone. It's not been there since yesterday.
You have a power bank, correct?
Yes, then there is a power bank. The power bank gives the the power bank.
Yeah, that's like
it's helped the phone to charge.
Guys.
That's what I used to.
How lucky are we in the States that we have access to all this stuff? Check this out. Johnbull, do you have access to water?
Yeah, there is water, but it's difficult. Okay, for example, to get water, just water to bathe where I am right now, I'm in Ibadan city. I'm not in a village. I'm in the city, Ibadan city. But to get water in this compound where I am, I have to go to the next compound to fetch water from a well. A well. That's the water I have to get to bathe. Then if I want to get water to drink, maybe I buy what we call pure water.
Sorry, I had to highlight this stuff.
Absolutely. We
that's
sometimes in when we're looking at the big picture in our mind with the things that we're going through on a day-to-day basis, we tend to take for granted those simple things that are there. Imagine in the Western world if we had some of the same situations that Johnbull just talked about, where we are dependent on someone from the next village to get something that we consider as simple as a drink of water. Imagine if we had to depend on somebody else from not next door, not down the street, not a couple of streets away, but the next town over, just to get a battery pack so that we could light our room, so that we could deliver a message to people that are struggling to understand such a simple complex as unity and collaboration.
Yeah, yes. So we have access to all this, and why are we fighting? Look, he doesn't have access to this stuff, and he's preaching peace.
Yes.
And we're fighting, and we have access to all this luxury stuff. I just don't get it, guys. Look, I love each and every person in the world, but Johnbull is just so above us. He is just thankful for things that we cannot imagine.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
And I love what you said, Johnbull, if you can still hear us. You said that America needs to come to unity because we are a beacon. We are seen across the rest of the world as a beacon of hope. Drive that home again. So why is that so important to you as you sit there where you are in the conditions you just explained to us? Why is it so important for you to see us be unified here?
Yes.
Why is that so important to you to see unity happen not only here in America, but across the world?
Why is it so important, though? That's what he's asking.
Okay, so there might be a slight delay between us. So, Johnbull, how can they get in contact with you if they want to have some more conversation with you in what you're doing?
Yeah, it's very, very important.
Yeah, it's a big delay now.
Yeah. Keep going. Okay. So we may have lost him. Again, we are so glad that that message came through from Johnbull, and he made some great points. So as we're making sure that his feed is still coming through, and Johnbull, you can jump in at any time that you hear us. I want to
if somebody wants to contact me.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I feel like he's like 30 seconds behind. When we get how to get in contact with Johnbull, I know he's on Facebook. We can also I'll put his Facebook link up in the chat box. So that'll do it.
Yeah,
absolutely. We thank you so much.
It's like the network from my end is so bad. So maybe I'm not getting you properly because of the network, maybe from my end. But if I can get you, you said why is it important for me? Why is it important that America is united? It's not just for me alone, but a lot of people all over the world. I will give you an example. Could you imagine that the day of the presidential debate, it was 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. around that time in the night? But can you imagine that I stayed up that night for 1 hour? I was watching that debate live online. I was watching it live online. And guess what? It's not just me alone, but thousands of Africans watched that debate all over. Because the next morning, you could see the comments on Facebook. They were commenting on Facebook. If it's not important, they won't comment on it. So
Wow, he makes a great point there, Jeff. And I want to reiterate the things that he said in his presentation. Very powerful presentation. And again, for those who may be just joining us late, this was Johnbull Jarahe. They call him the Prince. He was live from Nigeria with us, sharing his message of unity. And he said 4 reasons why it was important for not just America, but for the world to have unity. He said number 1 is because it's needed for our survival. He said that without unity, we will extinguish ourselves. We'll become extinct. Very powerful message. He said unity is important because it gives courage to others. When other people can see you in a unified action and see that you can do it, then that gives them the courage to say that they can do it too. Love that message. Third thing he said, unity helps us understand others. And boy, are we in a position right now where we need understanding across aisles, across states, across regions. Definitely something we need right now. And then finally, he said unity helps us to grow. And he gave that great analogy of how everything is interconnected in the environment and in the world. And Brenda shared that in part of her presentation, and Stephanie shared that in part of her presentation. And other people talked about this ideal of being interconnected. We're already interconnected. We already need each other. And it's in that spirit of unity that the interconnection works. And so great. All of our speakers did a great job, but I think Johnbull really brought it home, the importance of unity. Would you guys agree?
Agreed. Yeah. And here's if anybody wants a link to his page, here it is right there. So if you want the link to his page, that is Johnbull's page. It's in the actual comment box if you want to follow him. So that's how you find him right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, you know what?
I just want to say that, wow. I mean, I did a video with this guy like a week ago, and I called it Perspective Shift with Johnbull. And we talked about that stuff that I brought up on the show. And I was like, wow, that opened my eyes. I mean, I thought I was decent at knowing things. Wow.
Yeah. There are some things in the world today that we don't want to do because we consider it a nuisance. And then when you hear that story, you hear the levels that he went to share his message with us. Yeah. It kind of makes you wonder about the things that we take for granted and the things that we consider a nuisance. But if we had to go to the levels that he went through just to share a message, after we get off this phone, somebody's going to text somebody and they're going to have no problem with their internet. They're going to have no problem with their signal. Somebody's going to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. They're not going to have any delays. Somebody's going to do a video chat or FaceTime, and they're not going to worry about whether the video is going through, and they're going to take it for granted. Think about what has happened and what you've seen on this broadcast today, and think about it with a new perspective, because that's one of those definitions of unity. It's getting a new perspective. It's becoming whole. It's thinking together as instead of thinking individually. When we unify, when we come together, it makes a difference.
So yeah, Kash didn't get to make it on. So I know that what he was going to talk about a little bit is how strong we are. So I'm going to give a 30-second breakdown, I know, of what he was going to cover. Most of you guys that follow him know that he's had a rough couple days. With that said, when we're talking about unity, how powerful we are together, you can look at the government, you could look at politicians, as I just said, you could look at the media, and ultimately, at the end of the day, we are our strongest and the most dangerous to the powers that we fear when we are united. And if you want to look at things in a different way, you watch the movie Social Dilemma and you come back to this center point and you realize that there is a reason why the powers that be sometimes don't want us to be united, but we have the power to actually unite each other. And that's kind of what I talked about from the ground up. And that's what Kash talks about all the time, is we have the ability to be a street light in the darkness. We have the ability to light up the world. And we have the ability to do that by being kind to the ones around us and creating the change we actually want to see. So don't let anything that you see on social media and in the world of media, mainstream media, all the different medias, and in the government divide us. Like Johnbull said, they're watching our debates. They watch this and they think less of us as people sometimes. And we don't deserve that because we actually hold the power. But we do it to ourselves. So we need to move past the point of division and unite and use that concept of unity, because that is where we are the strongest, period. We strongest together and the most dangerous together. And without that, united we stand, divided we fall. So we have to stay strong together.
Absolutely. Great comments. I want to go back to what Stephanie said in her piece, be in unity with yourself first. Understand where you stand, and then you can use where you stand to unify with others, other like-minded people that also take a stand. And that's where the oneness comes. It's been a great event today, Jeff. Any final thoughts? Any more teasers?
We've been talking about my book all day, And yes, it's a pretty big deal. And yeah, I am pretty proud of it. And yeah, it's going to help change the world. But I just wanted to leave you with one last person's testimonial that he sent me. And I think this video is absolutely amazing. So above and beyond what I expected. So take it away, Mr. Saccone Prince.
I'll go ahead and show that. Just so you know, Jeff, look at my new title.
I know, I see that.
Hello, everybody. How you doing today? This is Saccone Prince of SacconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And I'm going to give you my review of Jeff Marconette Jr.'s Make Every Second Count, a 1,500-hour journal. Now, when you hear the phrase make every second count, it may seem like a cute catchphrase, but from Jeff's standpoint, it is a way of life. One of the things Jeff knows is how to make every second count. You know, going through what he went through, he knows the importance of how things can change in an instant. And this journal, it really allows you to look with a heart of gratitude, to see where you are and what you have. You know, I tell people all the time, in order to get the right answers, you have to ask the right questions. And one of the things I love about this journal is that it asks you the right questions so that you can truly think and be appreciative of where you are and what you have. If you have ever considered journaling, this is a great start. This book would definitely get you on the right road to being grateful for everything that you have. One of the things I really appreciate about Jeff is that he doesn't stop. And as you go through the journal, you'll see just how he has progressed even since his accident. And Jeff has definitely learned how to make every second count. Hey, look, this is Saccone Prince of SacconePrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And I'm encouraging you, if you want to start journaling, if you need a journal, you need to get the Make Every Second Count, a 1,500-hour journal by Jeff Marconette Jr. Talk to you later. Bye.
I mean, he really upsold that. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty good.
I know.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself.
So I got to put this up on the screen. That's Johnbull's WhatsApp contact. If anybody wants it, we're able to kind of get back in touch with him. So feel free to message him on there. He'll be able to respond. I'm sure he'd love to have conversations with you guys, talk to y'all. And that is his contact. So I'll leave that up on the screen for a bit. With that, I'll say my last words. I know Jeff and Terrence are going to have something to say, but I thank you guys for joining as usual. Please share this. I hope you guys got something from it. We like to do something a little different each time. And I love the unity message on this one. I think it was great. And I do also encourage you guys to check out Jeff's book. And we'll see you on the Be the Change Network for some of our other shows. Emily coming up soon with her own. Truth will set you free. But Tuesday, it'll probably be later because I am actually, holy God, I got a gig for that day. So I'll have to start. I don't even know what getting paid looks like anymore. So I'll be coming home late that night. So what I'll do is I'll do it before I leave Austin. On the way here, we'll do that. And then Change Makers. I'm working on getting my American Ninja contact that night. If not, it'll be somebody else. So thank you guys again. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Jeff, great job as always. Terrence, you're the man. Thank you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Anthony. Hey, you know what? Great time. It's always good to come together as we did in unity, to share information, to give encouragement, and to give motivation. And from the comments that I continue to see going across the screen, we have done that. And we didn't do it for ourselves. We did it for you in unity. If you have to understand a definition of unity, look what Jeff put together. And look how he brought in the people like Anthony and myself and these powerful speakers. And look how he was able to unify us under one common goal, which was to help you once again get up and make every second count. It wouldn't have happened unless we had one unified goal and we had one unified direction. Different people, all in unity for the same goal. If we can do it, guess what? You can do it too. So I want you to do what Stephanie said. Begin with the unity of one, and then align yourself with other people in unity to be the change that you want to see in the world. And if you do that, hey, ain't nothing in this world that can stop you, because you will have become the change and you will be unstoppable. You can check me out on Facebook on Terrance Leftridge or under my business page for unstoppablecoaching.com. You saw the video for Saucony's Prince with the testimonial for Jeff. Join us in Saucony this week for the Next Level Leadership Summit coming up October 8th through the 10th. I'll be one of the speakers on that event, so hopefully you'll tune into that as we continue this conversation on unity, because leaders are the people that unify the masses, and we want to help you to be a leader too. Jeff, as always, I am honored and humbled for you to invite me the first time, but to continue to invite me back. I appreciate you, brother. You're doing a great job, and you keep being unstoppable too.
Thank you, sir. And I just want to say thank you to Anthony and thank you to you, Terrence. You guys did a phenomenal job, like always. Yes, Anthony, I saw you acting stupid there. But I wanted to thank you guys. And seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. And from the bottom of my heart, I love all you guys out there, because you're all amazing in your own way. Look, we might all have different abilities. We might all be different in ways such as political parties. We might all be different in religions. We might all be different in colors, but we're all the same in here. We all have this red thing that beats in our chest, and it is not our heart. It is our greatness, and it is trying to get out, and it wants to get out so badly that it beats faster and faster as we move faster and faster. So figure out a way to release that greatness. And no, I'm not telling you to reach in and pull out your heart, because that wouldn't be smart. But I am telling you to show the world your greatness. Show the world that you're better than fighting. You're better than rioting. If you want to protest, that's fine. But don't destroy anybody else's stuff. It's just not right. So come together, guys. Be united. Because as one, we don't fight and we make a change. And remember, be the
change.
All right, that's it. Thank you,
all right,
guys.
You guys, wherever you are in the world today, you know what we say. Don't just make it a great day. Go out and be the change in unity and make it an unstoppable day.
Day.
Take care.